Come on, Chi-Chi, Goku begged. Gohan needs to learn to fight. I told you already that I don't want my little boy being a fighter. But doesn't he need to learn to defend himself? I mean, there are lots of wild animals out there. Well, come on, Chi-Chi. Just let me train him on weekends and during the summer. He can study the rest of the time. Oh, all right. The next Saturday, Goku yells as he goes out the door. Me and Gohan will be back by Monday morning. Goku, Chi-Chi yells back. You're not taking Gohan away for 2 whole days. He's only 2 years old. Don't worry, Goku assures his wife. We'll be fine. With that, Goku rushes out the door and is out of sight in minutes. That man is impossible, Chi-Chi sighs. Later that night, Goku and Gohan are sitting around a campfire of cooking fish after a day of martial arts training based mostly extreme exercise and the basic martial arts stances. After the two Science scarf down the food in record time, Goku reaches in a little bag and pulls out a small orange GI. This is for you, Gohan. Wow, Gohan exclaims. It's just like yours, Daddy. Here, put them on, Goku says, handing over the GI, undershirt, and wristbands to his son. Within minutes, Gohan manages to wiggle into the new clothes. These clothes are heavy, Daddy. Yep, Goku says. The wristbands weigh 10 pounds apiece and the undershirt weighs 20 pounds. I can barely move, Gohan whines. I know it'll be difficult at first, Goku says, but you'll get used to the added weight and it'll make you stronger. Okay, Daddy, Gohan says as he gets up and drags his now heavier body over to a bush, where he takes a leak. 2 years later. Chi-Chi, me and Gohan are going to visit Master Roshi today. Goku yells as he heads out the door with his 4-year-old son. Goku, don't take Gohan to see that old pervert, Chi-Chi pleads. It's bad enough that you feel the need to train him, but I really don't want that old man rubbing off on him. Don't worry, Goku assures her. We're just visiting. With that, Goku rushes out the door. Flying Nimbus. The floating yellow cloud swoops down from the sky, picking up Goku and Gohan and flies off toward Rashi's island. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, a pod with a mysterious warrior in it hurls toward the earth. Minutes later, it crashes out in the country. What the hell is that? A farmer says as the pod begins to open. A tall warrior with long spiky hair steps out of the pod. A green device over his eye beeps. A power level of 5. That's pathetic. With one blast, the warrior incinerates the farmer. After consulting the scouter over his eye, he takes off toward the highest power level in range. A few minutes later, he comes across a green man sitting and meditating. The tall warrior lands next to him. Hey, green man, where's Kakarot? What the hell are you talking about? Piccolo responds, getting to his feet. No one talks to me like that. With that, Piccolo fires a blast right at the other warrior. Now die. The warrior simply starts to laugh. Ha! You almost singed a hair on my leg. The scouter beeps, interrupting him. Well, I'd love to stay and kill you, but I've still got to find Kakarot. The warrior turned away and flew off, followed by an angry Piccolo. Back at Rashi's island, Goku and Gohan land and introductions start. Who's the kid? Bulma asks. This is my son, Gohan, Goku says. Are you going to be a fighter just like your dad? Krillin adds. My mom says I'm going to be an orthopedist, Gohan says. There's a moment of silence. But I'm going to be a fighter. Yeah, the GI gives it away, Rashi adds. Come here, you little cutie, Bulma says. She goes over to pick up Gohan. Man, he weighs a ton. Nah, Goku says, scratching the back of his neck. It's just the weighted clothes. But he's so heavy, how does he walk in those? Bulma says. It's only 200 pounds, Gohan says. 200 pounds. Krillin murmurs as everyone but Goku and Gohan sweat drop. But he's just a kid. He's already almost as strong as I am, Goku says. I've been training him for the past toe. Goku stops mid-sentence as he turns his head. What power? It feels evil, Daddy, Gohan says. Is it Piccolo? Bulma says. No, it's too strong to be Piccolo, Goku says. Before they can discuss the matter further, the tall warrior with long spiky hair lands next to Goku. Kakarot, I've finally found you. What are you talking about? Goku says. There's no Kakarot here. Look, he's got a tail, Bulma spurts out. Yeah, it's just like the one I used to have, Goku says. That proves it, the warrior says. You are a scion. A what? You hit your head as a child, didn't you? Yeah. Well, let me explain then. I'm Raditz. You are Kakarot, my little brother. We are scion warriors from the planet Vegeta. Our planet was destroyed by a meteor several years ago. Prince Vegeta, Nappa, myself, and you are the only surviving scions. You were sent to clear this planet of life so it could be sold. I must say that I'm disappointed. I'd never kill people like you say, Goku yells. Then I've wasted my time then. But tell you what, I will give you 24 hours to change your mind. Meet me in that time after having killed 100 people and I will let you come with me. Never, Goku says. Raditz reaches over and grabs Gohan by the tail, squeezing hard and lifting the boy off his feet. If you want to see your son again, you will. You bastard. Goku charges at Raditz, but is put on the ground with an elbow to the head. Minutes later, Raditz flies off with Gohan. Krillin rushes over to Goku. Are you okay? Yeah, I'll be fine. Don't worry, we'll get Gohan back, Krillin says. I'll go with you. No, Krillin, you stay here. He's too strong for you. But Goku. Don't worry, I know who to ask for help. Goku turns where Piccolo is floating in the air. So, what do you say, Piccolo? I'll help you, but as soon as this is over, you're next. Fair enough, Goku says. Nimbus. Piccolo and Goku take off after Raditz. Raditz lands by his pod with his new prisoner. Well, let's see how strong you really are. Raditz pushes a button on his scouter. 215, not bad for a kid your age. I'd better put you in the ship for safekeeping. A few minutes later, with Gohan safely in the pod, Raditz turns just in time to see Goku and Piccolo landing in fighting stances. So I see you brought the Green Man with you for help, Kakarot. Where's Gohan? Goku shouts. He's safe in the pod. It's more than strong enough to hold him. It can hold someone with a power level up to 750. Raditz taps the scouter. Let's see, the Green Man is at 322. Kakarot is at 375. Pathetic for a scion. Well, I've got a few surprises for you, Goku says as he takes off his weighted shirt and wristbands. Piccolo throws his hat and turban to the ground. Well, isn't this a surprise? Raditz says, consulting the scouter again. You two can hide your power levels with weighted clothes. Let's see, the Green Man is at 408. Kakarot is at 457. We're going to beat you, Goku says as he and Piccolo charge Raditz at full speed, throwing kicks and punches wildly. Raditz dodges them all with ease. With a quick backhand, he sends Piccolo flying back and then lands a punch right to Goku's stomach. Goku goes flying back, recovering quickly. Kamehameha, Goku shouts, firing the beam at Raditz. Raditz crosses his arms in front of him as the blast hits. When the smoke clears, Raditz is unharmed. That was pathetic. Do you have any new techniques that might work on this guy, Piccolo? Goku asks. It so happens that I do. I was hoping to save it for you, but I guess I can use it now. The only problem is I need time to charge it up. Do you think you can last against him for about 5 minutes? Sure. Goku charges at Raditz, throwing kicks and punches wildly at his older brother. Meanwhile, Piccolo puts 2 fingers up to his forehead and begins charging ki in them. In the space pod, Gohan bangs on the window. Let me out. He sees Goku outside doing his best against Raditz but still getting his butt kicked. I need to help Dad. He bangs on the window harder. Raditz punches Goku in the stomach, sending him flying through the air. Now I'll finish you off. Just then his scouter beeps. What the hell? Raditz turns just in time to see Piccolo point a ki-charged 2 fingers at him. Special beam cannon. Piccolo yells as he shoots the beam at the scion. Raditz jumps to the side as the beam glances off his shoulder before exploding against a mountain. He dodged, Piccolo murmurs. But how? Well, that was some attack, Raditz said. Too bad it didn't hit. In an instant, Raditz charges Piccolo and hits him hard. As Piccolo starts to fly in the other direction, Raditz grabs his right arm and pulls. Piccolo's body goes flying back, but his arm remains in Raditz' grip. Are you alright, Piccolo? Goku asks, standing beside the Green Warrior. Yeah, I'll be alright. Okay, just start charging another one of those attacks. I've got a plan. Okay, whatever you say. Goku charges at Raditz once again, throwing kicks and punches wildly. Raditz still seems to dodge almost all of them. Raditz throws a punch of his own at Goku's face, but the younger of the two warriors manages to duck under and grab a hold of his brother's tail. Raditz suddenly stops in great pain. I got you, tail, Goku comments. Ready, Piccolo? Yeah, just hold him for a little longer. Please, brother, Raditz begs. Don't kill me. I'll change my ways. Don't listen to him, Goku. I won't kill any more. Goku's grip loosens on Raditz's tail, and in seconds the Saiyan warrior elbows Goku in the face, sending him flying back. Raditz follows, pummeling his younger brother with a flurry of kicks and punches. Finally, Goku lands on the ground with Raditz's foot on his chest. Now you die, brother. From inside the pod, Gohan sees Raditz standing on his father's chest. I have to help Daddy, Gohan yells as his anger rises. I have to be stronger. Raditz is about to bring his foot down on Goku when his scouter beeps. What? That brat's power is reading 1345. That's impossible. Raditz turns his head just in time to see a very angry Gohan bust out of the pod and come flying at him with a kick to the face. Leave my dad alone, Gohan screams, calming down somewhat and losing some of his power. Why, you little brat? Raditz screams. You'll die for that. But before Raditz can attack Gohan, he's grabbed in a body lock from behind by Goku. Fire, Piccolo. Special beam cannon. The beam hits Raditz in the chest and continues through Goku. Both warriors fall to the ground, mortally wounded. Piccolo walks over to Raditz. Well, it looks like you lose after all. What's worse for you is that it won't be long before Goku's friends wish him back with the Dragon Balls. You, however, won't be coming back. You fool. You'll all still die, Raditz says. This device doesn't just read power levels. It's also a communicator. 2 more Saiyan warriors will come avenge me. They are even more powerful than I am. With that, Raditz dies. A short while later, Bulma, Krillin, and Master Roshi arrive on the battlefield. Bulma and Roshi walk over and examine the body of Raditz. Hey, get that device off his face, Bulma orders. Roshi reaches down and grabs the scouter off of Raditz. Bulma puts it on. I think I can fix it, so it will display power levels where we can read them. Bulma and Roshi walk over where Krillin is standing next to Goku's body. Don't worry, Krillin, Roshi says. We'll wish him back. Yeah, but what about the other 2 Saiyans Piccolo mentioned? We'll deal with them when they get here, Bulma says. Krillin turns to Gohan. Well, come on, kid, let's go. No, Piccolo shouts. I will train the kid to prepare for the Saiyans. But he's just a kid. He may be our only hope. A few hours later, after locating Tien and Yamcha and returning back to Rashi's island, Bulma suddenly shouts, I did it. Did what? Yamcha asks. I fixed this scouter. Well, let's see if it works, Krillin says. Okay. Bulma points it at Krillin. Okay, let's see. 206-inch, she turns and points it at the turtle. .001. Yamcha's at 177. Tien's at 250. And Master Roshi is at 160. Man, we really need to train, Krillin says. Out in the desert, Piccolo and Gohan stand facing each other. We've only got a year to prepare you for the Saiyans coming, Piccolo says. First, you need to learn to survive in the wilderness if you are to be tough enough to survive the Saiyans. I will come get you in 6 months. Wait, Mr. Piccolo. What is it, kid? Is this part really necessary? My dad already taught me how to survive. I've been getting my own food on weekends for the past 1.5 years. You weren't alone, you little brat. You must survive. But if you prove to me that you can, I will step up the training sooner. Okay, Gohan says, determined. But will you do me a favor before you leave, Mr. Piccolo? What is it, kid? Well, my dad said that you can materialize things. Yes. Well, I was wondering if you could double the undershirt and wristband weights so I can get stronger faster. Sure, kid, Piccolo says with a genuine smile. Thanks, Mr. Piccolo. I'll train hard for the next 6 months. I promise. Gohan starts to walk away, barely lifting his new load. I hope so, kid, Piccolo says to himself. I hope so. Chapter 2. Goku stood up looking around. Hey, where am I? Looking around, he saw numerous white puffy clouds floating in the air. In fact, there seemed to be a short line of them heading into the only building around. Well, I guess I'll go in there. Pushing his way through the line of clouds, Goku shouted, Hello, is anyone here? Keep it down, a large red man sitting behind a desk said. Who are you? I'm King Yema, Lord of Otherworld. What? Goku said with a puzzled look on his face. I decide where you go when you die. Oh, I get it now. Goku looked down at himself. I must be dead. Several small blue demons started to chuckle. Quiet now, Yema yelled. Can I ask you something? Goku said as a new thought entered his head. What? Did a guy named Raditz come through here? Yeah, Yema said with a laugh. I sent him down below. He put up a good fight though. Wow, Goku exclaimed. You must be strong. I can hold my own, Yema replied. If I could have a minute, sir, a new voice said from behind Goku. Kami, Goku exclaimed. What are you doing here? Wait. Oh no, you died. Now we can't use the Dragon Balls to wish me back to fight the Saiyans. The Earth is doomed. Calm down, Goku, Kami said. I'm not dead. I'm just here to speak to Yema on your behalf. Kami turns to face King Yema again. Lord Yema, I request that Goku be allowed to make the journey down Snake Way to train with King Kai. But I want to train with King Yema, Goku said. He's strong. King Kai is even stronger than King Yema, Kami said to Goku. He turns back to King Yema. No offense, Your Excellency. Don't worry about it, Kami, Yema replied. Goku can go train with King Kai, if he chooses. He turns to Goku. But I must warn you, the journey down Snake Way is a long and perilous one. It is about 10,000 miles to the end of Snake Way. 10,000 miles, Goku exclaimed. That will take me almost a year to get there. That is why we must hurry, Goku, Kami reminded him. Right, Goku said, getting more serious. Where do I need to go? This ogre will take you, King Yema said. A few minutes later, after a short ride in a little car, Goku stepped onto the front of Snake Way. I better get going, he said as he takes off flying at full speed. He turned back for a second. Oh yeah. Do you know a fortune teller named Baba? Sure, the ogre said. She's pretty well known up here. Tell her to pass on a message for me. Tell her to tell Master Roshi not to wish me back until the Saiyans arrive. Sure, got it. Thanks. Goku turned around and once again took off down Snake Way. Back on Earth, Gohan leapt from rock to rock across the wastelands. Not bad, he said to himself. I'm starting to get used to the added weight. The young Demi-Saiyan then began to throw kicks and punches at an imaginary opponent at rapid speed. Roar! Gohan turned his head, hearing the noise from a distance. The T-Rex, that the roar belonged to, soon came running over a hill, having caught Gohan's scent. Gohan leapt into the air just inches ahead of the T-Rex's jaws. Performing a flip in mid-air, the Demi-Saiyan came down with a foot right to the T-Rex's head. The great beast flew backwards several feet before crashing into a cliff. Seconds later, the monster was back on its feet again, charging back at Gohan. Gohan leapt over the dinosaur's tail as it came sweeping around, landing on his hands and flipping over again, landing perfectly on his feet. In an instant, Gohan pushed off and sped at the T-Rex, punching it in the head and then bringing a knee up into the bottom of its jaw. The beast reared back in pain and anger and then lurched back at Gohan, snapping its teeth in an attempt to swallow the young Demi-Saiyan. Gohan leapt to the side bare inches from the dinosaur's teeth. With quick reflexes, Gohan jumped high into the air before coming down on the T-Rex's skull. The mighty beast fell to the ground dead, with blood pouring from its nose and mouth. From a distance, Piccolo stared in silence. So the boy's stronger than even I thought. We may stand a chance after all. Back at Rashi's island, Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, Bulma, and Master Rashi were all pacing back and forth while Oolong, Puar, and Kayatsu are off elsewhere in the house. I don't want to tell her, Krillin said. Somebody has to, Yamcha puts in. Yeah, but how do you tell someone that their husband is dead, and their only child is being trained by a demon? Rashi interject. Yeah, she'll take it pretty hard, Bulma adds. She looks over at Krillin. You're Goku's best friend. You should tell her. Before anyone can say anything else, Chi-Chi came busting through the door, dragging her father behind her. All right, where is he? She screams. Speak of the devil, Tien murmurs. What? Chi-Chi asks. Nothing, Tien replies sheepishly. Hi guys, Ox King said. Now where's Goku? Chi-Chi screams. Well, Rashi begins. He's not here. What do you mean he's not here? If he took Gohan on another one of his extended training sessions, I swear, I'll kill him. I don't think you'll be able to do that, Yamcha said with a grin. What do you mean? Chi-Chi asks. Well, Rashi answers solemnly, Goku's dead. What do you mean he's dead? Well, his older brother came from space and they fought and Goku died, Krillin said, trying to explain the best he could. What an alien, Chi-Chi said, panicked. Where's my Gohan? Piccolo took him to train for the coming of the Scions. Who are the Scions? Ox King asks. They are a warrior race that apparently Goku is a member of. 2 more Scions, even stronger than Goku's brother, are going to be here within a year. The news of all this soon becomes too much for Chi-Chi as she fell to the floor unconscious. We better get to training anyway, Krillin said. Wait, a voice said from the doorway. Yajirobe walked in the door. Kami wants you 3, he pointed at Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha, to train on the lookout with him. Let's go then, Krillin said, excited. Wait, I'm coming too, Kayatsu yelled as he rushed out the door after them. Man, this dinosaur sure is good, Gohan said as he ate part of the T-Rex that he'd been fighting earlier. He stared into the campfire he'd made to stay warm and to cook the meat. A few minutes later, the young Demi-Scion looked up at the sky. Man, the moon sure is pretty tonight. I wonder why Mom never let me stay up to see it when it was full like this, Gohan said to himself. Before the words were out of his mouth, Gohan lurched back uncontrollably as his body began to spasm. His eyes turned bright red and fangs soon grew from his mouth. The front of the boy's face began to pull outward into a long snout. Brown hair grew all over Gohan's body as his clothes were ripped to shred by his rapidly growing body. Within seconds, Gohan's transformation to his Oozuru form was complete. Piccolo's eyes went wide as he sensed the enormous power not far away. It only took him a few minutes to find where it was. It took even less time for the giant ape Gohan to spot him. Piccolo jumped back in mid-air as a giant monkey paw came crashing down at him. Gohan roared in anger and once again swung a giant hairy fist at the little green man that was in front of him. The fist connected full force and sent Piccolo sailing into the ground hard. A split second later, Gohan shot a giant blast of ki from his mouth at the green warrior. The blast hit, sending Piccolo further into the ground. Piccolo picked himself up off the ground, bleeding in several places yet still alive. How can he be that strong? Piccolo then looked up and saw the full moon. That's got to be the source of that power. This ends now. Piccolo let a huge blast go at the moon. When it hit, the moon was blown to small little pieces. Almost instantly, Gohan began to shrink back to his normal size. As he shrunk, his features turned back to normal as well. In less than a minute, Gohan was lying unconscious and naked on the grass. It must be the tail that lets them transform, Piccolo said to himself. Well, with the moon gone, that should level the playing field. Piccolo looks down at Gohan. That tail is only a weakness now. With a tug, Piccolo pulled Gohan's tail right out of his butt. A few seconds later, he materialized a new set of clothes on Gohan, complete with weights. There, Piccolo said. Exactly like your father's, but with my symbol on the back to show I trained you. After a second of thought, Piccolo also materialized a sword and sheath right next to Gohan. There you go, kid. Don't say I never gave you anything. The added weight of that sword should help in your training nicely. With that, Piccolo flew off to continue his own training. Chapter 3. Man, I need to hurry, Goku said to himself as he ran down Snake Way. Several days ago, he'd gotten too tired to fly anymore. How long can this thing be? As the Scion continued to run down the path to King Kai's place, a shiny orange object appeared ahead of him. What's that? Goku thought. Within less than a minute, Goku had caught up to the vehicle. Hey, watch where you're going. The ogre driving the street cleaner yells. Do you know how far it is to King Kai's place? Goku asked. You're going to King Kai's place? Yeah, Goku said. Well, as near as I can figure, you're about a quarter of the way there. Only a quarter of the way? Goku said, his grin disappearing. But I've been running for days and I'm so tired. Well, hop on, the ogre said. You can ride along for a while. Sure. Goku hopped on the back of the cleaner. Thanks. Within minutes, the Scion is fast asleep as the vehicle continued down the path. Tien, Yamcha, Kaiatsu, Yajirobe, and Krillin stood on top of the lookout. Krillin and Yajirobe were exchanging blows while Tien and Yamcha were also sparing. Kaiatsu was off by himself meditating. The fighters stopped for a second to catch their breaths. Yamcha looked over where Kami and Popo are watching the fights. Come on, Kami, Yamcha complained. Teach us something that will make us stronger than the Scions. Kami looked very serious. There is nothing I can teach you that you don't already know. But you trained Goku and made him strong. Yes, but many of those techniques you already know. Kami paused for a second. The only secret to Goku's strength was the intense training he put himself through. Kami, Popo said, do you think that they could use the hyperbolic time chamber? I don't know, Kami sighed. They might not survive in there. What's the hyperbolic time chamber? Krillin asks. It's a room here on the lookout. In there a whole year passes in a day. Wow, we could get strong there fast, Tien said. Yeah, we'll have as long as we need with that, Yamcha adds. No, you won't, Kami said. You can only spend a maximum of 48 hours in there. After that, you cannot enter ever again. Yes, Popo added. And only 2 people can enter at any one time. I say we do it, Krillin said. Also beware that the conditions in the hyperbolic time chamber aren't good. Kami paced back and forth as he talked. The temperatures are extreme and the gravity increases the farther you get from the entrance. Sounds like a good place to train, Tien said. There is one other thing I need to show you first, Kami said. Popo, prepare the pendulum room. Yes, Kami. What's the pendulum room? Krillin asked. The pendulum room is a room that can warp time and send you to another time and place in your mind. Through this room, you will see what you are truly facing. About an hour later, Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, and Kaiatsu are in the pendulum room. They stood in an old destroyed city. Scion skeletons litter the ground. It looks like they're all gone, Yamcha said. Too bad, I was looking forward to kicking their asses. You'll get your wish, weakling, a voice said from behind them. The 4 warriors turned to see 2 Scions standing on some rubble. One Scion was about the same height as Raditz with shorter spiked hair. The other was shorter and bald. They both wore similar armor and had scouters on their faces. Let's get them, Yamcha shouted as he charged at the 2 Scions. Yamcha brought a fist around at the taller Scion's head, but the Scion raised a hand and effortlessly blocked the blow. A second later, he brought a fist of his own up into Yamcha's gut, doubling the warrior over in extreme pain. Within seconds, Tien, Kaiatsu, and Krillin all charged the 2 Scion warriors. Blows were exchanged at lightning-fast speeds, but within minutes all 4 warriors were thrown to the ground hard. That's it, Tien said, getting up from the ground. Multiform. Tien split into 3 separate parts, and all 3 gathered around the taller Scion on 3 different sides. Meanwhile, Krillin, Yamcha, and Kaiatsu all converged around the other Scion. Try beam, all 3 Tiens said as they all fire the yellow key at the taller Scion. Kamehameha. Krillin and Yamcha both shouted, hitting the other Scion with the blue energy and sending him flying into the other Scion, where all 5 attacks explode. When the smoke clears, both Scion warriors are standing there unscratched. What impossible, Krillin said. The taller Scion took that moment to charge at Yamcha and brought a key-charged fist at the warrior. The fist hit Yamcha right in the stomach and went clear through. Yamcha fell to the ground in a bloody heap. The shorter scion charged up a blast and threw it at Tien. The blast separated at the last second and hit all three of the Tiens, killing the warrior instantly. A split second later, both Krillin and Kairatsu charged the Scion warriors, throwing kicks and punches wildly. Unfortunately for the two warriors, their efforts were in vain. Within seconds, both warriors were blasted and dead. A few minutes later, the four warriors woke up once again on the lookout. Kami walked in the room looking grim as ever. "You did better than expected." "What? We got our asses kicked," Yamcha said. "Yes," Kami said. "Unfortunately, the Scions that are on their way to Earth are more than twice as strong as those two." "Twice as strong?" Krillin gulped. "Yes," Kami said. "Any of you who want to give up and return home can do so now. There's no dishonor in it. But if you choose to stay, you must see this through." "I'm staying," Yamcha said. "Me too," Krillin added. "Wouldn't miss it," Tien said. "I'm in too," Kairatsu replied. Out in the desert, Gohan continued to swing his new sword at an imaginary opponent. At first, the sword had seemed too heavy to be of any use, but after the first few days, the young Demi-Scion had gotten used to the weight and now had no problem wielding the weapon. Piccolo watched from a distance as the boy jabbed and parried attacks from imaginary warriors. He'd interrupted his training to check on the boy. He knew, though, that he couldn't afford to rest too long, but lifting those pyramids telekinetically and sparing using the multiform technique was tiring. Even demons needed breaks occasionally. Looking back at Gohan, the demon admitted to himself that he was impressed. He had thought that Gohan would spend most of his time goofing off and playing. He'd expected the boy to grow stronger just by surviving, but the amount of time the boy dedicated to training was outstanding. Back on Snake Way, the cleaner hit a bump and Goku went sailing through the yellow clouds and down into HFIL. A few minutes after hitting, he awoke to see the barren wasteland with a fountain of blood not too far away. "Oh no!" Goku shouted. "I must have fallen off Snake Way." "Looks like we have a new one," a voice said from behind Goku. Goku turned to see a blue ogre and a red ogre standing not far away. "I want first shot," the red one said. "Oh, all right," the blue one replied. "I've got to get out of here," Goku said as he began jumping toward the sky, trying to get above the yellow clouds once again. "I can help you get out with my flying machine," the red ogre said. "Really?" Goku replied. "Yeah, all you have to do is beat me at wrestling." "Okay." The ogre drew a circle in the dirt. "First one out of the circle loses." "Okay," Goku said. "I'll let you try first." The ogre charges at Goku and pushes at the Scion as hard as possible, but Goku doesn't budge an inch. "My turn now." Goku hit the ogre with an open palm and sent him flying onto the ground outside the circle. "I win." A few minutes later, the two ogres took Goku to a crude lever out of a rock and a board. "Okay, you stand here," the red ogre told Goku. "We'll jump on this end and send you flying up into the clouds." "Okay," Goku said as the two ogres jump on the board. Goku went flying up into the air, but not high enough to reach the clouds. Man, it didn't work. Goku bent his knees and took a mighty leap for the clouds one last time, stopping about 10 feet short. Before he can fall to the ground, he cups his hands at his side and points at the ground. Kamehameha. The Kamehameha wave sends Goku the rest of the way up into the clouds, where his head bangs against an unstoppable barrier. Goku falls back to the ground, holding his head in pain. "Ow, wow." "Ha!" The blue ogre laughs. "You can't get out that way. If you can catch me, I will show you the only way out." "Okay," Goku says. "But let me grab a bite to eat real quick." Goku walks over to a tree with a lot of fruit on it. "No," the ogres both say. "That's King Yema's fruit. It's said to double one's strength and fill them up for 3 months." "But I'm hungry," Goku whined. "You can't eat that fruit," the ogre said. "Okay, let's race then," Goku said, disappointed. "Ready, go." The blue ogre took off away from Goku at blinding speed, but the Scion was just steps behind him. The chase continued for a few hours before Goku turned away and ran for the tree with King Yema's fruit. "No," the blue ogre shouted, chasing the Scion. Goku turns and grabs him in a bear hug. "I caught you. Now where's the exit?" The ogres point to a small crack in a cliff. Just follow that hallway. Thanks, Goku said as he ate a piece of fruit he'd taken and ran to the crack the ogres had pointed at. The ogre's sweat drop as Goku leaves. Hopefully King Yema doesn't notice. A few minutes later Goku came to the end of the hallway and crawled out of a crack only to find himself back at King Yema's desk. Yikes! I've got to hurry, Goku said as he took of running faster than ever down Snake Way. I thought you went to King Kai's, King Yema said as the scion ran off. Chapter 4. Sweat poured down Gohan's brow as he swung his sword at the imaginary opponent for the 1000th time that day. Doing a backflip, Gohan landed with a thrust straight outward. Gohan tensed as he heard a noise off to one side. Gohan stuck the sword in the ground and turned. Hey, Mr. Piccolo. It's time for the second part of your training, kid, Piccolo said. Great, Gohan shouted. When do we start? Right now, Piccolo said as he charged at Gohan, throwing a right hook at the boy. The blow caught Gohan off guard and sent him flying through the air and into a rock formation not far away. Gohan quickly recovered and pushed off a rock while still in midair. The boy charged back at Piccolo and began throwing kicks and punches wildly at the demon. Piccolo managed to block most of the blows, but occasionally one or two got through. This kid's good. As if on cue, Gohan's foot came down hard on Piccolo's head, sending him flying to the ground, creating a small crater of his own. Never one to waste an advantage, Gohan rushed in at his new mentor and landed both feet in his gut as he was beginning to stand up. A second later Gohan brought a fist around and landed it right in Piccolo's face. The Demi-Scion continued to pummel his mentor with kick after kick and punch after punch. Destructive wave! Piccolo shouted, sending a wave of energy right at Gohan. The energy hit Gohan right in the face, momentarily blinding and stunning the young warrior but causing no permanent damage. Piccolo using the slight edge threw a hard right punch at the young Demi-Scion. The blow landed hard on Gohan's cheek and is soon followed by blow after blow. DBZ. Tien and Yamcha smiled as they entered the hyperbolic time chamber. I can't believe we can get a year's worth of training in a day, Yamcha said. Yeah, it'll be great, Tien adds. The two warriors stared in wonder at the vast white expanse of the chamber. The whiteness seemed to stretch on forever. The only thing that broke up the endless landscape was the small little building that was the entrance to the outside world. All that was there was one little room with a few cots on one side and a kitchen on the other side. Well, let's get started, Tien said, charging at Yamcha. Yamcha took the punch right to the face and stumbled back into the vast whiteness. He quickly did a backflip and jumped out of the way just in time to avoid another fist from Tien. Bringing a leg around, Yamcha retaliated with a kick right at Tien's stomach. Tien jumped back a few feet, avoiding the blow. Tien charged back at Yamcha, and in minutes the two were exchanging blows frantically, both getting a beating in the process. DBZ. Goku grinned as he blew by the street cleaner, jumping over it in a mighty leap, never slowing down for a second. Good, I'm back to where I was. Now I just have to keep going. Goku pushed his strength to the max as he increased his speed, running down Snake Way, still trying to reach King Kai's place. DBZ. Krillin and Kairatsu paced outside entrance to the hyperbolic time chamber. It had been nearly 2 days since Tien and Yamcha had entered. I hope those two are okay, Kairatsu said. Yeah, me too, Krillin replied. As if on cue, Tien and Yamcha walked out of the chamber grinning from ear to ear. Man, I feel stronger than ever, Yamcha boasted. Yeah, me too, Tien said. Your turn, Yamcha said to Krillin as he passed by. Right, Krillin said as he and Kairatsu walked through the door. DBZ. Piccolo sat by a campfire meditating while Gohan continued to thrust at the air with his sword. The amount of determination in the boy still amazed Piccolo. When he wasn't sparring with Piccolo, he was training with that sword. Except for the time when he was sleeping or eating, of course. Gohan stopped for a second and looked at Piccolo. Mr. Piccolo, I need you to make my clothes heavier again. With little effort, Piccolo materializes a heavier undershirt and wristbands, as well as making the sword heavier as well. There you go, kid. Piccolo returned to his meditation. Thanks, Piccolo, Gohan said as he began to once again swing the sword at the air again with less ease this time. DBZ. Krillin and Kairatsu walked out of the hyperbolic time chamber breathing heavily. How'd it go? Tien asked them from across the room. Great! Krillin exclaimed. I'm stronger than ever. DBZ. Goku continued to run down Snake Way. There's something up ahead, he said to himself. Goku quickened his pace and stopped next to a statue of a snake along the side of the path. This must be King Kai's place. Goku mumbles as he jumps into the mouth of the snake. We have guests, a voice said entering the room. A woman with blue-green skin walked up to Goku. It's been so long since we've had guests. Wow, King Kai's a woman, Goku mumbled. He shrugged. I've come a long way to train with you, Your Highness. Oh, he's cute, another woman with blue skin says. I've come a long way to train with you, Goku said. Train with me, the woman said. Well, okay. She grabbed Goku in a waltz pose and started leading him through the steps of the waltz. Oh, Goku said as he did a flip over the woman he thought was King Kai. I get it. This is a test to see if I can find your weak spot. The Scion threw a punch right into the small of her back, sending her flying across the room into a wall. What are you doing? The woman screams. That what I was supposed to do, Goku murmurs. Right, King Kai. I'm not King Kai, the woman said. I'm Princess Snake. I'm sorry, Goku replied. I thought you were King Kai. Well, anyway, I must be going then. I still have to reach King Kai's place to train. Wait, Princess Snake pleads. Don't go yet. You haven't had dinner yet. Goku perked up at the thought of food. After all, it had been about 3 months since he'd eaten anything. Okay, Goku shouted. I'll stay for dinner, I guess. A few minutes later, several attendants came out with platter after platter of food. Almost immediately, Goku began swallowing plate after plate of food. An hour or two later, the hungry Scion hadn't even slowed down in the least. Princess Snake and her 2 top attendants simply stared in awe at Goku's enormous appetite. Goku continued to eat plate after plate as the cooks in the back worked busily to keep up. Finally, Goku ate one last plate full, then let out a loud belch signaling that he was done. Well, that was delicious, Goku said, getting up from the table and walking toward the door. But I've really got to be going. Wait, Princess Snake said. Can't you stay just a little while longer? Maybe take a nap or something. I can't, Goku said. I really have to get to King Kai's. My friends are all counting on me. Goku continued to walk toward the door. You will stay, Princess Snake yelled. You have no choice. Or don't you pay much attention? All around Goku, the whole room morphed into a long dark tunnel. Oh no, Goku said. I've got to get out of here. With a burst of energy, Goku took off, flying toward a light on one end of the tunnel. A few minutes later, he flew out of the mouth of the giant snake. Except this time it was alive and tried to swallow him again. You can't escape from Princess Snake, the giant snake said. I'll chase you forever if I have to. No, you won't, Goku said, powering up a blast. Then a thought struck him. Stopping the blast, Goku reversed directions and flew at Princess Snake. Goku flew in a few loops fast and then went through his own path. Princess Snake followed, tying herself in a knot. Goku landed back on Snake Way and started to once again run as fast as he could. DBZ. Piccolo continued to meditate as Gohan, finally worn out, slept peacefully. Not far from where the 2 camped, a computer in a Scion spacepod came online. Kakarot, the computer said. Destroy all life. A light appeared from the console, projecting the image of a full moon into the sky. Back at the camp, Gohan's breathing began to quicken as his body began to spasm. A long brown tail sprouted from his pants, tearing easily through his clothes. Piccolo's eyes shot open and he jumped out of the way just in time to avoid being kicked in the face by Gohan. Gohan quickly rebounded off the side of a cliff and charged back at Piccolo and landed a punch right to the demon's gut. Piccolo doubled over in pain, coughing up a little bit of blood. Reacting quickly, he jumped out of the way as the crazed Demi-Scion threw another punch at his face. Piccolo winced as he saw Gohan's crazed look illuminated by the moonlight. Then a thought struck him. Oh no, the moonlight. Piccolo looked up to see a full moon in the sky. Then he looked back at Gohan just in time to see a furry brown tail before he was kicked in the face by the Demi-Scion. Piccolo threw off his weighted cape and turban and rushed back at Gohan, trying to knock him out with a punch to the head, but the boy was too quick. Jumping above the punch, Gohan came down with a kick to Piccolo's head. The demon went sprawling to the ground with a thud. Piccolo looked up at Gohan just in time to see the boy look at the full moon. Gohan's body began to grow fur all over as a snout grew on his face, and he grew to several times his normal size. Piccolo barely got out of the way as the Oozaru shot an enormous ki blast out of his mouth at Piccolo. "That's it!" Piccolo yelled, firing a blast at the moon. The blast went right through. "What the hell?" Piccolo said to himself as a giant fist crashed down on top of him, sending him into a big crater. Gohan towered over Piccolo, beating his hands on his chest. Piccolo looked up, confused to see a shadow of a giant ape on the moon. Of course, it's a projection. Piccolo jumped out of his crater and dodged a fist from a very angry Oozaru. Unfortunately, he didn't see the other fist coming. The blow sent Piccolo flying into the ground once again. Recovering quickly, Piccolo searched frantically for whatever was making that damn projection. After a few seconds, he found it. He fired a blast at the Scion space pod just as Gohan brought another fist down on his head. Without the full moon, Gohan calmed down and quickly shrank back to his normal size and form. Piccolo picked his beaten body off the ground. "Man, that kid is a pain in the ass sometimes," he said to himself. Walking over to the sleeping Gohan, Piccolo reached down and pulled the tail off again. "I wish this thing would quit growing back." After a minute of concentration, Gohan was once again dressed in his normal clothes. Finally, Piccolo sat down to continue his meditation. Chapter 5. Goku grinned as he saw the end of Snake Way. "Phew, I made it," he said. The Scion was so excited about reaching the end that he didn't even bother to slow down. Goku ran right of the end of the path and began to fall toward the clouds again. "Whoa, I better be careful," he said as he pushed his energy beneath him, pushing himself back up to the path. Goku landed on the path, confused. "Where's King Kai's place?" The Scion warrior looked around. Finally, his eyes landed on a small planet not far away. That must be it. Goku pushed off and flew toward the small planet. Before he reached it, he felt the enormous tug from the gravity. Within seconds, the gravity had a hold on him and pulled him roughly to the ground. "That hurt," Goku said, rubbing his head. The warrior tried to stand only to fall back to the ground. "I can barely move," Goku said as he slowly dragged himself forward. "The gravity here is intense." A slight rustling in the grass caught Goku's attention. "It's a monkey," Goku said as he looked at the furry little monkey walking around with its hands at its shoulders. "You must be strong," Goku said as he watched the monkey move about with ease in the high gravity. The furry little animal soon walked away from the tired Scion and climbed up a tree. Goku, who had followed at his own slow pace, stared up at the furry little guy. "Hey!" he shouted, looking up at the delicious-looking fruit hanging from the tree. "Can you throw me down one of those?" The monkey shrugged and then grabbed a piece of fruit from the tree and threw it down toward the hungry Scion. The apple sailed through the air, accelerating at an amazing rate. When it hit the ground right in front of Goku, it continued going, leaving an apple-sized hole several feet deep. Goku's sweat dropped when he saw the fruit go through the ground, but his stomach was still growling. "Hey!" he shouted back up to the monkey. "Can you throw another one of those down? I promise I'll catch it this time." The monkey grabbed another piece of fruit as Goku got shakily to his feet. The primate released the fruit and it went sailing through the air. Goku managed to just barely get his hands under it before it hit the ground. The weight of the fruit pulled the already tired Scion to the ground, burying his hands several inches. Grinning, Goku pulled his hands from the ground and began to eat the fruit as if he hadn't seen food in years. As Goku was finishing up, the monkey climbed down from the tree. Taking on last gulp, Goku turned to face the monkey. "I'm sorry, Your Highness. I was a little rude earlier. It's just that I was so hungry. I'm Goku. I'd like you to train me so I can save the Earth, King Kai." The monkey just looks at him with a blank look on his face before turning and walking away, raising his hands up and down in the air. "Oh," Goku said, "that must be how you got so strong." Goku began to walk, raising both hands up and down in the air, doing his best to imitate the monkey. Not far off, a short, round man with blue skin and pointy ear watched the commotion. The man was dressed in a martial artist robe with a symbol on the front that said King Kai. A black cap with antennae completed the look. After several minutes of watching Goku imitate the monkey, the man burst into laughter. Hearing someone laughing, Goku turned from his intense training. What are you laughing at? I'm training with King Kai. The blue man laughed even harder. That's not King Kai. That's my pet monkey Bubbles. I'm King Kai. Goku looked from Bubbles to King Kai and back. Then he smiled sheepishly. I'm sorry I've come to train with you. You're already funny enough without trying. You don't need me to teach you. I'm here to learn martial arts, not comedy. I need to get strong enough to defend Earth from the Scions. Ah, the Scions. What do you know about the Scions? I oversee the whole north quadrant of the galaxy. I know plenty about Scions. Well, did you know that I'm a Scion? Yes, King Kai said with his fingers crossed. Well then you must have known I was coming and that I'd need your help. Okay, fine then. I'll train you. But first you must catch Bubbles here. King Kai points to his pet monkey. I warn you he's pretty fast. Yeah, and this gravity doesn't help either, Goku said. Yes, but training here on this planet. King Kai paused for a second. For the 88 days remaining before the Scions reach Earth will be like years of training on Earth. Wait, Goku said. How'd you know when the Scions will arrive? I told you. I have many powers. Oh, okay. Goku sat down and began to take off his undershirt and wristbands. You'll gain more from the training if you keep the weighted clothing on. But I can barely move in these. Goku bent his knees and jumped 10 feet into the air. See, I can't even jump very high. Amazing, King Kai thought. He's even stronger than I thought. He may even be the one to master the Kaioken technique. Okay, enough fooling around, King Kai said. Now catch that monkey. Goku leaped forward, diving at Bubbles, who easily jumped out of the way and ran a few yards away. The Scion sluggishly ran after the ape, but Bubbles continued to stay well ahead of the warrior. DBZ. Gohan pushed off the ground, leaping high into the air, avoiding a kick from Piccolo. Changing direction in a flash, the young Scion dived right back at his mentor. Gohan swung his arm back and moved it forward at Piccolo's head, making good contact. Piccolo quickly recovered and flung a fist right into Gohan's head. Gohan smirked, spitting out a little bit of blood as he shot his leg forward right into Piccolo's gut. Piccolo doubled over, spit flying from his mouth. Gohan wasted no time and shot at the other warrior, landing a flurry of kicks and punches before sending the demon into his own personal crater. Piccolo picked himself up off the ground, wiping a trickle of blood off his mouth. The demon gathered energy in his palm. Destructive wave. Piccolo threw the energy through the dust that filled the air right at an unsuspecting Gohan. Gohan stopped the charge attack that he had planned and jumped out of the way bare seconds ahead of the attack. Nice try, Mr. Piccolo. It served its purpose, Piccolo said as he threw his turban and cape to the side and charged at Gohan. Piccolo landed a hard punch right to the Demiscion's face hard. The demon continued to pummel Gohan with punch after punch and kick after kick. No fair, Gohan managed to say between getting beat up. You took off your weights. There's no such thing as fair in a fight, Piccolo replied as he kicked Gohan right in the chest, sending him flying into the ground. Destructive wave, Piccolo shouted, sending a blast into crater after Gohan. The blast hit the ground with a huge explosion. Piccolo continued to watch the blast area, waiting for Gohan to charge back out. He barely had any warning when Gohan's sword came swinging down at him from behind, slicing into his shoulder and clean through his arm. The stub fell to the ground as Piccolo jumped out of the way of another swing of the sword. Gohan grinned at the unspoken curses he knew were running through his mentor's head. Hey, you were the one that said that everything was fair in a fight. Gohan wasted no time and charged at Piccolo once again, resuming the sparring succession. DBZ. Goku leaped at Bubbles as the monkey once again jumped through his grasp bare seconds ahead of him. Goku had been chasing the monkey for nearly a month now with no luck. Goku grunted as he put on an extra burst of speed, leaping once again at Bubbles. The Scion grinned as he brought his arms up with a monkey in them. Good, King Kai said from where he was watching. Now you're ready for phase 2 of the training. Gregory. Just then, a little brown grasshopper came flying in at amazing speeds and landed by King Kai. This is my star pupil, Gregory. He's the fastest one around. King Kai grabbed a wooden mallet. Now Goku, You must catch Gregory and hit him with this wooden mallet to complete the second phase of your training." "Sure thing," Goku said, grabbing the hammer. Goku winced as the hammer almost fell out of his grip due to its weight. "Catch me if you can," Gregory shouted as he flew off with Goku right behind him. DBZ. Gohan moved his head slightly to the side as Piccolo's fist passed bare inches from his face. A second later, he shot his leg out and caught Piccolo right in the gut, doubling over the demon in pain. Piccolo tried to retaliate, but Gohan easily pushed the punch aside. Piccolo growled in frustration. Every punch he seemed to throw, the boy dodged as if it were a game. He'd expected rapid improvement, but he'd never thought the boy would get this much stronger than him. Piccolo reached up and threw his turban and cape aside. "Good. Now it gets interesting," Gohan said as he threw a punch at Piccolo. The demon barely got out of the way of the blow. Unfortunately for him, Gohan's foot shot out a split second later, catching him in the gut. Piccolo recovered fairly quickly and shot out a foot of his own, catching the Demi-Scion off guard and sending him flying back into the ground. Gohan did a flip in the air and pushed off the ground and shot back at Piccolo, throwing a flurry of kicks and punches at his mentor. Piccolo managed to dodge and block some of the blows, but a few got through his defenses. Piccolo retaliated with a punch to Gohan's face, sending the young Scion reeling back. Piccolo wasted no time and charged at the young Demi-Scion, connecting with a kick to the head. Piccolo gasped as the attack passed, though only after image. He turned just in time to get a kick to the face from Gohan. Gohan wasted no time in pressing his advantage, burying his foot deep into Piccolo's gut, sending the demon into the ground hard. Masenko Ha! The blast flew into the crater and exploded with overwhelming force. A few seconds later, Piccolo flew out of the cloud of dust, bloody but not beaten. He charged back at Gohan and the two resumed their battle full force. DBZ. Goku ran as fast as he could, chasing Gregory around the planet. He'd been chasing him for a few weeks now and was getting closer and closer to catching him. Finally, an idea struck Goku. He threw the hammer one way and took off the other direction. Making good time around the planet, he got there just in time to catch High Hammer and bring it down lightly on Gregory's head. "Good, Goku," King Kai said. "Now you're ready to be trained by me personally." Chapter 6. Goku stood on King Kai's planet. "I'm very proud of you, Goku," King Kai said. "Thanks, King Kai. Let's test your speed and strength." "Okay." King Kai pulled out a giant stopwatch. "Okay, now catch Bubbles." Bubbles began to run, but Goku was too fast. In less than a second, he had the monkey in his arms. "Not bad. 002 seconds. Now hit Gregory with this hammer." King Kai handed Goku a hammer. Gregory took off, but Goku was standing in his path, bringing the hammer down on his head before he knew what was going on. 1.2 seconds. Not bad. Now to test your strength. King Kai picked up a giant boulder and threw it up into the air. Before it hit the ground, Goku lightly tapped it, causing it to crumble to pieces. "Good. Now I have a present for you." King Kai materializes new clothes onto Goku. "Gee, thanks, King Kai. But where's your symbol? I want to show that you taught me." "My symbol is on the back and your old master's symbol is on the front." "Oh, okay." "Oh no!" King Kai suddenly shouted. "How could I have been so stupid?" "What?" "The Science will arrive tomorrow. Even with your new speed, it'll take you 2 days to reach the check-in station. I hope they can manage without me for a day. Quick, let's contact your friends and have them wish you back. Put your hand on my shoulder and you'll be able to talk to them." Goku put his hand on King Kai's shoulder. "Master Rashi, can you hear me?" DBZ. At Master Rashi's house. Master Rashi was sitting on the toilet when he heard the voice. "Master Rashi, can you hear me?" "Goku, is that you?" "Yeah, I need you to wish me back with the Dragon Balls immediately. The Science will arrive tomorrow. It will take me 2 days to get there, so you'll have to fend them off till I get there." "Right," Rashi said as he jumped from the toilet and went running into the room. "We need to wish Goku back." DBZ. A few minutes later, Rashi and the rest of the normal crew that always hung out at his place gathered around the 7 Dragon Balls. "Arise, Shenron," Rashi shouted. The 7 Dragon Balls began to glow as the sky darkened over with black clouds. A second later, there was a great flash of light as Shenron appeared. You, who have summoned me, speak your wish. We wish for Son Goku to be brought back to life, Rashi shouted. It is done, Shenron said. Farewell. With that, the almighty dragon disappeared in a flash of light and the 7 Dragon Balls rose into the air and scattered across the earth. DBZ. Goku looked up and grinned as he saw his halo disappear. Well, I better get going, he said to King Kai. Knock him dead, King Kai said as Goku took off heading down Snake Way at an outrageous speed. DBZ. A day later, 2 Scion space pods came crashing through the atmosphere. They landed in the middle of a sprawling city, creating a huge crater. What was that? A man said. Just then the pods opened and a tall bald man ripping with muscles and a shorter man with flame-like hair floated up out of the crater. They both wore armor similar to that the warrior Raditz wore. The only difference was that the shorter warrior wore a blue bodysuit under his armor. The taller warrior wasted no time. He gathered some of his energy and sent a giant explosion throughout the city, leaving nothing or no one left. The shorter warrior turned to his partner. Nice going, Nappa. One of them might have known where the Dragon Balls were. Sorry, Vegeta, Nappa said as he turned to his partner. Let's find the highest power levels on the planet. They'll be the ones who destroyed Raditz. Right? The 2 Scion warriors take to the air in search of the highest power levels on the planet. DBZ. Gohan and Piccolo stood out in the desert. They're here, Piccolo said. Take off your weighted clothing. We must be at our best. Piccolo threw his turban and cape aside as Gohan took off his undershirt and wristbands, throwing them into the dirt. Gohan then picked up his sword and strapped in onto his back. I'm ready. Just as he spoke, Nappa and Vegeta landed not far away. Vegeta was the first to speak. You must be the one that killed Raditz. Yeah, Piccolo responds. And we'll end you too. He's funny, Vegeta, Nappa said, laughing. I should have known it'd be a Namek, Vegeta said mostly to himself. I didn't think that there'd be anyone from this planet with the power to beat Raditz. Now it makes a little more sense. I'd heard about the magic balls of Namek, but I'd always thought it to be just an old wise tale. Don't kill him just yet. Nappa, we may need to have him tell us where the Dragon Balls are. Just then Krillin came flying down. You guys need an extra hand? Sure, Gohan says. Let's see just how powerful they are, Vegeta said. Nappa pushed a button on his scouter. Let's see, the Nameks at 1875. Not bad. The midgets at 1427. The kids at 2341. Man, Gohan's gotten strong, Krillin thought. He's almost as strong as I am when I'm not holding back. Don't trust that too much, Vegeta said. They showed that they could suppress their power when they fought Raditz. I'm sure they can't possibly have any more power than that, Nappa replied. Let's see how they fight against the Cybermen, Vegeta suggests. How many do you have left? 6, Nappa answered. They all have the fighting power of Raditz. Well, this will be interesting, Vegeta said. 2-on-1 should be a pretty even match. Nappa bent over and poked 6 holes in the ground with his index finger. He then dropped 1 seed in each hole before covering them with dirt. A few seconds later, 6 little green monsters began to claw their way out of the ground. Okay, Piccolo said, turning to Krillin. You take the 2 on the right. I'll take the 2 in the middle. He turned to Gohan. You take the 2 on the left. Right, Gohan said. Need a hand, Yamcha said as he, Tien, and Kaiatsu landed next to the other Z fighters. Sure, Krillin said. You about missed the fun. All right, Vegeta interrupts. Tell you what, since there are now 6 of you and 6 of our little green friends here, let's be a little more sporting. One of you will take on one of them at a time to the death. All right, Piccolo said. It'll buy some time for Goku to get here. I'd like our chances better if he were here too. So, who wants to go first? Vegeta said. I will, Tien said. Be careful, Tien, Kaiatsu said. Don't worry, these guys aren't all that tough. Tien stepped forward and got into a fighting stance as one of the Cybermen also stepped forward. Ready, go, Vegeta shouted. The The Cyberman was the first to move, closing the speed between it and Tien almost instantly. The little monster threw a punch right at Tien's face. The blow passed right through the Triclops afterimage. Tien appeared behind the monster and threw an effortless kick at the monster's head, sending it sprawling into the ground, unable to move. "Very good," Vegeta said. "I'm rather impressed. I didn't think you Earthlings could have that much power." Vegeta raised a hand and blasted the Cyberman into oblivion with no effort. The Z fighters gasped in shock. "He killed his own fighter." Yamcha finally voiced what they were all thinking. "He was beaten," Vegeta replied. "Now who's next?" "Well, I don't think we can expect any mercy from them," Krillin said as he stepped forward. "I'll go next." "Wait," Yamcha said. "I'll go next. You've already been wished back after all." "I can handle him just fine," Krillin responded. "I know. These little things are weak. They aren't even close to our level," Yamcha boasted. "I'll be fine." Yamcha stepped forward grinning as he faced the little green monster. The Cyberman charged forward in a flash, swinging a fist around at Yamcha. The fist never connected as Yamcha's fist flew out, catching his opponent on the jaw, sending it helplessly to the ground. Piccolo sighed and muttered, "So much for him killing time, so Goku can get here." Yamcha turned his back on the little monster to face Vegeta. "Come on, I'll take on the other four all by myself." Just as the words left his mouth, the Cyberman that had been dropped with one punch leaped up and landed on Yamcha's back with a death grip. "What the hell?" Yamcha shouted as he tried to shake the little monster off of him. The monster growled as it began gathering energy into its small little body. The amount of energy it gathered became too much for its little body, and a few seconds later it exploded. The Z fighters gasped as the smoke cleared and Yamcha's lifeless body fell to the ground. "No!" Krillin shouted, running forward and cradling the corpse of his friend in his hands. "It should have been me, you big stupid lug." Krillin turned to face the other Cybermen. "I'll take them all on at once just like you would have done. I'll kill them all." Krillin charged a huge ball of ki in his hand and threw it right at the group of Cybermen. At the last instant, the ki split into 4 parts. Each part honed in on one of the Cybermen. 3 of the little monsters were destroyed instantly. The 4th little monster jumped out of the way of the attack to some nearby rocks. The blast continued on, slamming into Nappa with full force. When the dust settled, the big Scion was completely unharmed. "What?" Tien's face falls. "That didn't even leave a scratch." The final Cyberman chose this time to charge out of its hiding place and charge at Gohan. Gohan stood, never moving a muscle, until the Cyberman got within less than a yard of the Demi-Scion. Finally, Gohan reached for his sword, bringing it over his head, and threw the Cyberman before the little monster could close the remaining distance. Chapter 7. Nappa stepped forward and grinned like a moron. "Well, I guess I'll get to have some fun after all." Nappa stopped in the middle of the battlefield and began doing some stretches to prepare himself. "Who should I kill first?" the Scion asked himself. He turned and stared directly at Tien. "I'll start with you, Three Eyes." Tien's eyes widened as the huge warrior charged at him with unbelievable speed. Nappa's first punch sent Tien flying backward and into a rock formation. Tien shot out of the rocks in a flash and charged back at the Scion. The Triclops threw a flurry of kicks and punches at Nappa, but the Scion warrior managed to dodge them all with ease. With little effort, Nappa shot a knee up, catching Tien in the stomach, doubling over the mighty warrior. Nappa filled his hand with ki and brought it down toward Tien's arm. The Scion's hand passed through thin air as the Triclops appeared behind Nappa. "All right, Tien," Kairatsu said as his friend hit Nappa right on the side of the head with a roundhouse kick. The Scion didn't even flinch. He brought his elbow back and hit Tien right in the face, sending him flying back into the ground hard. Tien didn't give up and charged back at Nappa full force after wiping a trickle of blood off of his mouth. He gathered as much ki into his fist as possible and aimed it right at Nappa's chest. Tien threw the punch at the Scion and groaned when Nappa caught the punch in his own hand. Nappa smirked evilly as he squeezed down hard on Tien's hand, breaking every bone in it, leaving it essentially useless. A split second later, the Scion's leg shot out and caught Tien right in the ribs, making a sickening crunch. Tien winced as Nappa threw his weakened body to the ground. Groaning, the warrior lifted himself to his feet. Not had enough yet, I see, Nappa taunted. Tien raised his hands to his face. Solar flare. A bright burst of light flooded the whole area, blinding everyone that wasn't ready for the attack. Tien used this time to charge at the Scion and deliver kick right to Nappa's head. The Scion went flying and Tien raised his hands in front of him in the shape of a triangle. Tri-beam ha! Tien groaned as he pushed all of his power into the attack, draining his own life force. The attack hit Nappa dead on and exploded, leaving smoke and dust all over the battlefield. Tien collapsed to the ground, completely spent and fading fast. Did he do it? Krillin asked. I'm not sure, Piccolo answered. Ha! That was a nice trick, Nappa said as the smoke cleared and he came out completely unharmed. Too bad it didn't work. Nappa walked over to where Tien lay barely alive, struggling to stand. Nappa raised his foot, ready to bring it down on Tien's head. Before he could bring his foot down, he was kicked out of the way into some rubble. Getting up confused and a little angry, Nappa looked up to see who would even dare disturb his fun. Standing over Tien, Gohan looked straight at Nappa. I won't let you kill anyone else. Nappa rubbed his jaw. Not bad, kid, but you have no idea what you're dealing with. While Nappa was distracted, Kairatsu used his telekinetic powers to levitate Tien safely from the battlefield where he could be attended to. Krillin reached down and felt for a pulse. He's dead, the monk announced. Kairatsu cried out. No, he can't be dead. The little emperor pushed off the ground and charged at Nappa, who was just getting up. I'll grab on his back and use all my ki to destroy him. It'll kill me too, but at least it'll save everyone else, the little emperor thought. Nappa, who was in no mood to play around, raised his fist and sent it flying right through the little emperor, killing him almost instantly. I thought you said that you wouldn't let me kill anyone else, the Scion taunted at Gohan. Krillin started forward but was stopped by a green hand. Let Gohan handle this, the Namek said. But he's just a kid, and that Scion will tear him to pieces. He'll be fine, Piccolo said. You'll pay for that. Gohan threw back his head and began a primal scream as his power rose. Dust began to swirl around him and small pebbles rose off the ground. A great white aura surrounded the young Demi-Scion for a minute. As soon as it had started, it was over as Gohan's power leveled off once more. Vegeta pressed a button on his scouter and it beeped a few times. 4681. Let's see how Nappa deals with this. He turned to Nappa. I'd be careful with this one, Nappa. He can't be that tough, Nappa replied. The word had barely left his mouth when Gohan's foot planted itself in Nappa's face, sending the Scion flying back once again. Gohan was on the Scion before he could even get to his feet, throwing a right punch into Nappa's gut, doubling the Scion over in pain. A split second later, Gohan's knee came up into the Scion's face, blooding his nose. Gohan reached back for his sword and drew it from its sheath. Nappa looked up with genuine fear in his eyes as the sword started down at his head. He blinked as the sword stopped just inches from his skull. That was your only chance, Gohan said. Leave now or I'll finish you off. You'll pay for that humiliation, Nappa said, bringing his fist up into Gohan's wrist, causing him to drop the sword and stumble back. Nappa charged in with a flurry of kicks and punches, but Gohan managed to stay ahead of them and dodge or block most of them with little trouble. Gohan leaped back, doing a backflip in the air and landed about 10 feet back. He pushed off the ground and charged straight at Nappa, throwing a flurry of kicks and punches right at the Scion, causing him to stumble back. Man, Gohan's doing great, Krillin said. Who'd have known the kid would have that much power? He should have finished him off when he had the chance, Piccolo growled. He's too much like his father sometimes. Gohan continued to press his advantage as he connected a fist right to Nappa's stomach, causing blood to come shooting out of his mouth. Gohan brought a knee up into Nappa's ribs, causing a sickening crunch as a few ribs are broken. Nappa, still half-stunned and extremely angry, threw a punch at Gohan's face. His fist passed through the afterimage as Gohan reappeared behind the Scion. Gohan landed a kick to the back of Nappa's head and sent him sprawling to the ground. Gohan walked over and picked up his sword. Now I'm going to end this. Just as the words left Gohan's mouth, Nappa stood up, bruised and bloody but still going strong. You'll pay for that, kid. Nappa started to scream as an aura surrounded him and rocks began to levitate around him. His feet sank a few inches into the ground as his power leveled off. Now that I'm at full power, you're dead, you little brat. Gohan charged at the Saiyan, bringing the sword down at Nappa's head. Nappa leaned to the left, avoiding the blow. He brought his fist up into Gohan's gut, causing the Demi-Saiyan to double over and drop the sword. A second later, Nappa brought a knee up into Gohan's face. Gohan winced as the blow hit but quickly recovered. He ducked down as Nappa sent another fist at his face. Charging in under the Saiyan's guard, Gohan landed a hard kick right to Nappa's gut. The Saiyan took the blow with little trouble and returned a kick to Gohan's head. The young Demi-Saiyan was sent flying back. Gohan flipped off the ground and jumped up into the air, bringing his hands together above his head. Masenko Ha! The yellow blast flew right at Nappa, but the Saiyan deflected the blast right back at Gohan. The blast hit Gohan full force, sending the young Demi-Saiyan falling from the sky. Nappa walked over and stood over the injured warrior. The tall, bald Saiyan raised his foot and rammed it into Gohan's spine, causing him to yell out in pain before losing consciousness. Krillin stood on the sidelines watching in horror. I've got to help. He raised his hand over his head and began gathering ki in. Concentrating hard, he flattened the ki and made it start spinning. Destructo disc. Before he could throw the attack, Piccolo appeared right next to Nappa, throwing a kick right at the Saiyan's head. The blow connected full force but had little effect. Nappa backhanded the Namek, sending him flying back. Here goes nothing, Krillin thought as he threw his attack. Nappa turned just in time to see the attack coming and raised a hand to deflect it. Nappa! Don't touch that, you idiot! Vegeta shouted. Nappa obeyed and jumped out of the way, allowing the attack to pass just inches from his arm and into a cliff, cutting it in two. A second later, a small cut appeared and a trickle of blood flowed from it. Lucky shot, Nappa said. But it'll be your last. Nappa sped at Krillin and backhanded the midget, sending him flying back. He landed near Gohan and Piccolo. Nappa walked up to the three of them and stood over the three warriors. He raised his foot, ready to continue his torture succession. Come on, Goku, Krillin said. Get here quick. Vegeta looked on with interest. Who's this Goku you speak of? Surely you don't mean Kakarot. Yeah, that's right, Piccolo said. He's on his way and he's stronger than ever. I'm intrigued. I'll give you 3 hours to wait for him. In 3 hours, the battle will resume with or without Kakarot. I'm going to kill this little freak now, Nappa said, gathering a ball of ki in his hand above Gohan. Nappa, I said we'll wait for 3 hours. But he humiliated me. You deserved it for underestimating him so much. Now stand down. But, Vegeta, stand down for 3 hours or I'll kill you myself. Oh, okay. Chapter 8. Piccolo and Krillin dragged Gohan off the battlefield as Nappa flew off to entertain himself for 3 hours and Vegeta sat quietly. Man, that Saiyan really did a number on him, Krillin said, looking down at a beaten and bloody Gohan. He'll be fine, Piccolo said. Gohan stirred and opened his eyes. Where's the Saiyan? Relax, kid, Piccolo said. The shorter one decided to give us a 3-hour break. We need to get you back into fighting shape before the time is up. We could use the hyperbolic time chamber, Krillin suggests. That's how Tien, Kaiatsu, Yamcha, and I became so strong, although we should have trained harder than we did. After we gained so much strength in the first few months, we thought we'd be plenty strong and slowed the training down some. You and Gohan could train for about a month and a half in the 3 hours we have before Nappa gets back. No, that's no good, Piccolo replied. That Saiyan that's still here would blast us in a second if he thought we were trying to run away from the battle. Yeah, you're right, Krillin said. And by the way, he was ordering the other one around. He's the stronger of the two. So what do we do? Gohan said. Hope Goku gets here in time, Krillin replied. And plan a strategy just in case, Piccolo said. Right, Gohan said. But how do we beat that big lug? I tried my best attack and he swatted it back at me like it was nothing. Okay, Piccolo said. When he gets back, Gohan, you'll charge right at him and attack him with everything you've got. You sure that's a good idea, Piccolo? Krillin said. He's the strongest, so he'll have the best chance. Besides, all I want him to do is get his attention. Then I'll use my speed and get behind him and grab his tail. Right, the Scion's weakness, Gohan said. That's why you pulled off my tail, he said, looking at his now tailless bottom. Then, Krillin, you'll throw one of those spinning discs at him, hopefully finishing him off, Piccolo said. Right, Krillin and Gohan said at the same time. 3 hours later. Time's up, Vegeta said as Nappa returned from having his fun. I don't see Kakarot, so the battle will commence. Ready, Piccolo said. Ready, Gohan and Krillin replied. Now, Piccolo ordered. Gohan shot at Nappa at full speed, catching the Scion off guard. The young Demi-Scion threw a punch right into Nappa's face, but the Scion took the blow with no pain and laughed. Gohan threw a kick at the Scion, managing to send him flying back into the ground. Nappa shot out of the rubble and charged back at Gohan. Gohan ducked under the first punch and was sent flying back by the second. Now I'll finish you, Nappa said just as he felt a tug on his tail. Piccolo gripped the Scion's tail as hard as he could and laughed. Now you die. He turned to face Krillin. Now, Krillin. Destructo Disc, Krillin shouted as he launched the energy at the Scion. Nappa brought his elbow down on Piccolo's head hard, knocking him out instantly. A second later, he jumped out of the way of Krillin's attack. How did he? Krillin stammered. Simple, Vegeta laughed. Nappa and I have evolved beyond that weakness. DBZ. Goku grinned as he saw the end of Snake Way. Yeah, I'm there, he said as he put on an extra burst of speed, covering the remaining distance in just a few seconds. The Scion rushed into the check-in station and saw Kami waiting for him. Hi, Kami. There's little time, Goku. Right, let's go. Goku grabbed a hold of Kami and the two teleported to the lookout in less than a second. Got to go, Goku said as he ran and dived off the edge. Goku fell toward the earth, gaining speed at an incredible rate. Korin, Goku shouted. What? I need some senzu beans. Right? Korin said from his tower. Here's my last 2. Thanks, Goku said and waved to his old friend. Nimbus, he yelled. A second later, a yellow cloud flew down and swooped under Goku. The Scion warrior sped toward the battlefield at full speed. DBZ. Now I'll finally finish you off, you little brat, Nappa said, taking off his armor and stretching. You'll try, Gohan replied, charging right at the Scion warrior. Gohan brought his foot around at Nappa's head, but the Scion raised his arm and blocked the blow. Nappa then brought his fist forward into Gohan's gut. Gohan stumbled back, spitting blood from his mouth as Nappa closed the distance between them. Just as Nappa was about to punch Gohan once again, Piccolo and Krillin both charged in, throwing a flurry of kicks and punches at Nappa. The Scion shrugged them all off and backhanded Krillin out of the way. A second later, he turned and hit Piccolo right in the stomach, doubling over the Namekian warrior. Krillin slowly pushed himself to his feet. Man, I can barely move. I don't know how Gohan can be in as good of shape as he is after the beating that Scion has given us all. Krillin raised his head up, sensing something. That power, it's incredible. It's my dad, Gohan said with joy. You're just trying to trick us, Nappa said. There's no one coming. Vegeta hit his scouter and some numbers popped up. 5,000. The prince turned to Nappa. He could be hiding more power. Finish them off quickly. Forget about the Namek. We don't need him anyway. All we need is a Namekian for Dragon Balls, and planet Namek is full of them. Right, Vegeta, Nappa said. The bulky Scion stalked toward Gohan. I'll finish the boy first. Nappa charged at Gohan and kicked him across the battlefield. Gohan recovered and did a backflip. He charged back at Nappa and threw a punch of his own at the Scion. Gohan connected with full force to the Scion's face, sending him sprawling back. Before he could hit anything, Piccolo was in front of him, slamming a fist of his own into the disoriented warrior. Nappa flew into the ground hard, throwing dust into the air. Destructo Disc, Krillin yelled, focusing all of his remaining energy into the attack and throwing it at a distracted Nappa. Unfortunately for the monk, Nappa was too fast for him. The Scion jumped out of the way at the last second, receiving a cut from the disc on his cheek. I'll kill you for that, Nappa said as he charged Krillin and planted a foot right in his back. Nappa was just about to finish Krillin off when Gohan's foot hit him right in the head, sending him flying out of the way. "Piccolo," Gohan said, "get Krillin and get out of here. I'll hold them off till my dad gets here." "No, kid," Piccolo said. "We're in this together." Nappa recovered from Gohan's blow by this time and charged the young Demisaiyan and threw a flurry of kicks and punches. Gohan blocked some of the blows, but more and more began to get through as Nappa continued to beat Gohan to a bloody pulp. Finally, Nappa grabbed Gohan's ankle and threw him across the battlefield. Gohan began to get slowly to his feet as Nappa gathered a huge amount of energy in his hand and flung it at the young Demisaiyan. Piccolo watched in horror as he realized that Gohan wouldn't be able to dodge in time. Without even thinking of the consequences, Piccolo flung himself in front of the blast with his arms spread wide, protecting Gohan. A few seconds later, the smoke cleared and Piccolo fell to the ground, barely breathing. "Are you okay, Mr. Piccolo?" Gohan yelled as he ran to his downed mentor. "Just great, kid," Piccolo answered as he fell to the ground dead. "No, Piccolo," Gohan screamed. He turned to Nappa. "You'll pay for that." Gohan charged at Nappa and threw a flurry of kicks and punches at the Saiyan, driving him back. Masenko Ha! Gohan let the energy loose right at Nappa, hitting the Saiyan full force. When the smoke cleared, Nappa was bruised and bloody but still standing. "Not bad, kid," he said. "But it'll take a lot more than that to finish me off." The mighty Saiyan warrior began to gather energy in his hand. "Now it's my turn." Nappa threw the energy at Gohan but was surprised when the Demisaiyan was out of the way before the blast hit. "What the hell?" Nappa stammered. "Hey, Nimbus," Gohan said from on top of the flying yellow cloud. Nappa and Vegeta both looked up to see Goku floating up in the sky motionless. A second later, the warrior dropped from the sky, landing right in front of Nappa. Goku slowly walked forward, surveying the battlefield. He frowned when he saw Tien, Kairatsu, Yamcha, and Piccolo all laying dead on the ground. Nappa decided to take this opportunity to hit the new warrior, but Goku simply stepped to the side and buried a fist in Nappa's gut. "That was for my friends." Goku turned and walked over to where Krillin was lying and Gohan was floating on Nimbus. "You guys did great, but I'll take it from here." "You sure, Goku?" Krillin said. "That big guy is really strong. He beat all of us without even breaking a sweat." Krillin stopped for a second. Well, he did have to power up to beat Gohan, but after that it was really one-sided. Goku took the senzu bean that he had left and broke it in two. "Here, I've got something for you too." "But you might need it later," Krillin tried to protest. "Nah, I took one earlier. This one is for you." Goku put the bean into Krillin's mouth before giving Gohan the other half. "I feel great," Krillin exclaimed. "Me too," Gohan said. "I bet we can take him now," Krillin added. "No, I'll handle it from here," Goku told the other two warriors. "You two have done enough. It's my turn now." "Be careful, Daddy," Gohan said as Goku walked up to face Nappa alone. "Don't worry," Goku said. "I'll be fine." Goku walked back over to Nappa and clenched his fists at his side as his aura grew around him. His hair began to blow from the slight wind and his feet sank into the ground as rocks slowly levitated off the ground from the power. A few seconds later, he got into a fighting stance. "Let's do this." "Are you ready to die that fast?" Nappa said. Vegeta pressed a button on his scouter. 8,000, that's interesting. Nappa threw a fist forward at Goku's face, but Goku simply leaned his head to the side, avoiding the blow with ease. Nappa continued to throw a flurry of punches at Goku's head, but the taller Saiyan avoided every one of them without even moving from his spot on the ground. Goku brought his fist forward into Nappa's gut hard. "That's for Yamcha." A second later, he brought his elbow into the side of Nappa's head. "That's for Tien." Goku leapt off the ground and kicked Nappa in the back of the head. "That's for Kairatsu." Gohan leapt off the Nimbus and flew at the dazed Nappa full speed, punching him in the jaw hard. "And that's for Piccolo." A very angry Nappa turned to the young Demisaiyan. "I'll kill you, you little brat." Nappa threw a fist at Gohan, but Goku caught it before Nappa even knew what was going on. "And this is for trying to hurt my son." Goku twisted the big Saiyan's hand, breaking his wrist with a sickening crunch. Goku swung Nappa around by his now broken hand and threw him into a cliff face. Vegeta looked up baffled. A year ago he couldn't beat Raditz, but now he's toying with Nappa. How'd he gain so much power in so short of time? Nappa got up from the rubble and charged back at Goku. He got about halfway before he heard the one voice that shot fear through his whole body. "Nappa, stand down now," Vegeta said. "But I can beat him. Don't be foolish. He's wiping the floor with you and not even trying. I will beat him. Stand down or I'll kill you myself." "Oh, all right," Nappa said as he began to fly away from where Goku and Gohan are standing. He looked over to where Krillin was standing next to the Nimbus cloud. "Well, I can at least kill Baldy." The Saiyan charged at Krillin full speed, readying a killing blow. "Krillin?" Goku yelled as he leapt from the ground, chasing Nappa. "I won't make it in time. I have to use the Kaioken attack." "Kaioken!" Goku shouted. A red aura suddenly surrounded him and he closed the distance between himself and Nappa in second. Goku swooped under the large Saiyan and landed a fist in his back hard, carrying Nappa away from Krillin. A few seconds later Goku lands next to Vegeta with a paralyzed Nappa in hand. "I suggest you take your partner for some medical attention." "That weakling got what he deserved," Vegeta replied. "Vegeta," Nappa said weakly. "Help me." Vegeta reached down and grabbed his partner's outstretched hand and flung him high up into the air. Vegeta gathered a blast in his hand and incinerated his own partner in seconds. "He killed his own partner," Krillin stammered. "Yeah, that was cruel," Gohan added. Goku walked over to the two other warriors. "I want you two to leave now." "But we can help," Gohan pleaded. "He's right, Gohan," Krillin said. "That Saiyan could use us against Goku. We'd be a liability." "Yeah, I suppose you're right," Gohan said. "By the way, Goku," Krillin said, "why didn't you use that technique earlier?" "The Kaioken?" Goku asked. "Yeah, the one with the red aura. It greatly increases your power, speed, and even hearing and eyesight, but there's always the risk that in this realm my body couldn't handle it." "You mean it could have killed you?" Krillin said. "Yeah, but it didn't," Goku said with the sun grin. A few awkward seconds later Goku turned to Vegeta. "I know a better place to fight." "Lead the way," Vegeta replied. "Right." Goku took off with Vegeta not far behind. "I hope he knows what he's doing," Krillin said. "Me too," Gohan replied. Chapter 9. Goku and Vegeta landed far out in the desert. Goku sat down on one ridge while Vegeta sat down on one opposite of the taller Saiyan. "I must say," Vegeta said, "I'm impressed on how you dealt with Nappa. I'm giving you one chance at survival, Kakarot." "What's that?" Goku responded. "Join me now," Vegeta continued. "Together we could be an unstoppable force. We could rule the galaxy." "What about my friends?" "You can take your son with you. He's proven he's a true warrior. I'm rather impressed with his skills, especially considering his age. As for the others, they are weaklings. They deserved what they got." "I'm sorry," Goku said, "but I'll have to turn you down. Besides, I've seen what you do to your partners. Not much job security there. Nappa was a fool. He deserved his fate. Now you'll join him for your own foolishness." Goku crouched down into a fighting stance. "I'm ready whenever you are." "Prepare to die, Kakarot," Vegeta said as he leapt off his cliff at Goku. Goku met him halfway with a fist aimed at the prince's head. Vegeta leaned to the left, avoiding the blow, and brought a fist up into Goku's stomach, doubling the taller Saiyan over. Before Goku could recover, Vegeta's fist slammed into Goku's head, sending the Saiyan flying back into a cliff. The entire cliff collapsed, burying the Saiyan under the rubble. "Is that all you've got, Kakarot?" Vegeta taunted. Goku crawled out of the rubble and wiped a trickle of blood from his mouth. "I'm not finished yet," he said, getting to his feet. Goku clenched his fists at his side. His aura flashed between its normal white and red before finally going to pure red. "Kaioken." Goku shot at Vegeta with his red aura trailing. He planted a fist right into Vegeta's face, sending the Saiyan Prince flying. Goku flew with a burst of speed and got in front of Vegeta and delivered a roundhouse kick to the prince, sending him flying into the ground. DBZ. On King Kai's planet, the blue god jumped up and down. Get him, Goku. Show him who's boss. DBZ. A few seconds later, Vegeta crawled out from under the rubble, wiping his own trickle of blood from his mouth. Not bad, Kakarot, but don't think I haven't seen techniques like that before. Well, shall we continue then? Goku said, grinning. Even though the fate of the planet rested on this fight, Goku was enjoying himself immensely. All right, Vegeta said, but don't expect me to keep holding back. Wouldn't even think of it, Goku said. Vegeta clenched his fists and threw back his head and began to yell. A crimson aura surrounded him as his power began to rise. Rocks and boulders began to rise off the ground as the area for miles around shook in a great ground quake. A few minutes later, it was over. What power, Goku thought. I'll have to go beyond the regular Kaioken. Double Kaioken, Goku shouted as he was once again enveloped in a red aura. Goku shot at Vegeta with a speed faster than anything he'd ever experienced before. Goku sent his fist at the Saiyan Prince's head, but Vegeta leaned to the side at the last second and brought his knee up into Goku's gut, doubling over the taller Saiyan. Vegeta laced both hands over his head and brought them down hard on Goku's head, sending him into the ground hard. That hurt, Goku thought to himself as he pulled himself off the ground. I know King Kai said not to go above a double, but I don't have any choice. DBZ. King Kai watched the battle from his planet. No, Goku, you can't go beyond a double Kaioken. Your body won't hold together. DBZ. Back at the battle, Goku suddenly shouted out, Triple Kaioken. A red aura once again surrounded Goku as he shot off the ground and at Vegeta. Goku sent the Saiyan Prince flying back with a fist right to the face. Before Vegeta could even begin to recover, Goku was behind him, landing another punch to his chest, cracking his armor slightly. Vegeta was sent flying into the ground, where he landed, making a crater of his own. A few seconds later, Vegeta got up and floated up in the air. Now you're in a bit of a dilemma, he said, gathering ki into his hands. Dodge this and your precious planet will die. Gallic gunfire. A beam of crimson energy shot at Goku with incredible speed. Shit, Goku thought. If I dodge this, the planet is doomed. If I don't, I'll probably get creamed. Only one thing I can do. Goku cupped his hands at his side and began gathering energy in it. Ka, me, ha. The blue beam of energy shot out and met Vegeta's blast head one, but the crimson blast didn't even slow down at all. Get ready to meet oblivion, Kakarot, Vegeta taunted. I won't let you win, Goku said through clenched teeth. Triple Kaioken. A great red aura surrounded Goku as more power was pushed into the Kamehameha wave. The blue beam of energy began to slowly push back Vegeta's beam, and the two became deadlocked in between the two Saiyan. Damn you, Kakarot! Vegeta yelled as he pumped as much power into his own beam as he possibly could. You will die. I've got to save the Earth, Goku mumbled to himself. I have no choice but to try this. I'm sorry, King Kai. DBZ. No, Goku, King Kai said nervously. Your body won't withstand that much power. DBZ. Kaioken X4. Goku shouted as his red aura suddenly grew to an enormous size. Goku pushed as much power as he possibly could into the Kamehameha wave. The blue beam of energy pushed back Vegeta's attack and hitting the Saiyan Prince full force. The beam carried Vegeta into the high atmosphere before Vegeta finally rolled off of it. Way to go, Goku! Yajirobe yelled, coming out from where he'd been silently watching the battle. You showed him. He'll be back, Goku said. That wasn't enough to finish him off. In that case, Yajirobe said, I'll just wait over there. The cowardly ninja ran and hid behind his rock once again. DBZ. Gohan suddenly stopped in midair and stared back at the battlefield where his father and Vegeta had been fighting. Krillin stopped and looked at his young friend. Come on, we need to get to Rashi's island. I think my dad may need help. We just get in the way, Krillin responded. Those two are both out of our league. I can sense that my dad has used up most of his power already. Right now his power is less than mine. What about Vegeta? He's harder to sense, but I think he's getting worn out too. You know we shouldn't do this. You can go on if you want, Gohan said, but I'm going back for him. As soon as the words left his mouth, the young scion took off toward where he could sense his dad and Vegeta fighting. "Wait up," Krillin said as he took off after Gohan. "DBZ." Vegeta panted as he caught his breath. That last attack had hurt. "I'll get him," he said to himself. "All I have to do is find the moon." After a few minutes of looking, the Scion Prince looked around in shock. "It's gone. How could they have known? No matter, it won't save them." DBZ. Goku stood where he was barely able to move when Vegeta landed about 10 feet in front of him. "I must say, Kakarot, I'm impressed. I shouldn't have to transform to beat you, but you've left me no choice. Now you will die." Vegeta gathered a ball of energy in his hand and held it up. "This form is supposed to be for clearing whole populations, not crushing bugs such as you. But I'll do what I must." Vegeta flung the energy high up into the air where it exploded in a bright flash. "What was that?" Goku asked, not having a clue what it was. Vegeta looked up at his fake moon and grinned. Suddenly his heart began to beat faster and hair began to grow over his body. His face morphed and became a snout, and he began to grow to many times his normal size, his armor stretching to fit. Vegeta let out a roar as his transformation to Oozuru was complete. DBZ. "What's that?" Krillin said as he saw the fake moon appear in the sky. "I don't know, but I don't like the looks of it," Gohan answered. "Oh no," Krillin said, a thought occurring to him. What if Vegeta transformed like Goku used to? "What is it?" Gohan asked. Suddenly he turned away from Krillin and back toward the battle. "I just felt Vegeta's power skyrocket. We need to hurry." Gohan pushed more power into his flight and took off, leaving Krillin behind. "Wait up, kid," Krillin shouted, putting on as much speed as he could. DBZ. "Now you'll die, Kakarot," Vegeta said in his new giant ape voice. Goku sat there speechless. Suddenly all the strange things that happened when he was a kid made more sense. It had been him that had lost control and killed his grandpa. He wondered for a minute why his friends had never told him about his transformation. Goku was shaken out of his thoughts just in time to see a big hairy fist flying toward him. Goku leapt out of the way at the last second onto a rock behind and above him. Vegeta didn't let up at all though. The giant scion shot a blast of energy from his mouth, disintegrating the cliff out from under Goku's feet. Goku leapt off the ground at the last second but was caught in midair by Vegeta's fist and sent flying to the ground, hitting hard. Goku slowly got to his feet and wiped a trickle of blood from his face. "I've got to do something quick," Goku said to himself. "The spirit bomb is my only hope, but I need to distract him long enough to use it." Vegeta towered over Earth's last line of defense and prepared to go in for a killing blow. He pulled back his fist and sent it at the barely conscious Scion. Before he could deliver the blow, Goku shot a beam of energy past his fist, hitting him right in the eye. The beast roared back in pain, holding his eye as Goku floated off the ground and in front of Vegeta's face. "You'll pay for that, Kakarot," Vegeta snarled. "Solar flare," Goku yelled, bringing his hands in front of his face and sending out a blinding flash of light. Vegeta stumbled back, holding his eyes. "What did you do to me? I can't see. Damn you, Kakarot." Goku didn't waste a second. He sped away from Vegeta as fast as he possibly could before stopping about 50 yards away. Goku raised his hands up in the air, reaching for the sky. "Please, everything in nature, give me your energy." Tiny bits of energy from everywhere around began to gather in Goku's hands. Finally, after a few minutes, a ball almost as big as Goku was floating above his head. Vegeta looked around after finally regaining his sight. He'd make that sorry excuse for a Scion pay for what he did. He finally saw Goku holding some kind of ball of energy. "That doesn't look good," he thought. "Here goes nothing," Goku said to himself as he prepared to throw the spirit bomb. Before he could release it, Vegeta opened his mouth and shot out a crimson beam of energy. The blast hit Goku full force and sent him flying back into the ground, barely moving. Vegeta towered over the Scion and then picked up a giant foot and brought it down on Goku's legs, crushing many of the bones inside. "Now you won't run away so fast." Vegeta reached down and grabbed a hold of Goku and brought him up to his face. The Prince of all Scions grinned evilly. "Now I'll crush you." Vegeta squeezed down on Goku, crushing even more bones and causing him to scream in pain. I've got to do something to help, Yajirobe said from his hiding spot. But then he'll kill me. What are you doing here? Krillin said, landing behind the cowering ninja. Giving Goku a hand, of course, Yajirobe answered. It doesn't look like you're helping much, Krillin said. He turned to Gohan. We need to cut off his tail. Then he'll return to normal. Right? Gohan said. Okay, Krillin said. Here's the plan. You go up there and distract him, and I'll throw a Destructo disc at his tail. That won't work, Gohan said. Why's that? Krillin asked. The minute he sees me, he'll get suspicious, and you won't be able to sneak up on him. He's not as stupid as the other one. Yeah, you're right, kid. Gohan began to walk toward the battle scene. Wait, where are you going, kid? Krillin said. I'm going to help my dad. But how? Krillin stammered. Don't worry, I've got it under control, Gohan said, patting the sword on his back. Just get that Destructo disc ready just in case. Chapter 10. Gohan ducked down behind a rock as he crept silently toward Vegeta. Don't worry, Dad. I'm coming. As if on cue, Goku let out another scream as Vegeta once again squeezed on his favorite toy. Come on, kid, Krillin whispered to himself. You can do it. Of course he'll do it, Yajirobe shouted. Vegeta's ears perked hearing a sound from the rocks behind him. The giant ape turned to see what was going on. What was that? Damn, Gohan silently said to himself. If he spots Krillin, he'll know something's up. Gohan leapt out from behind his rock and between Vegeta's legs, bringing his sword out and through the spot where Vegeta's tail was just seconds before. Vegeta came down from where he jumped and brought a fist down at Gohan. Did you really think you could sneak up on me? Gohan had bare seconds to react as he saw Vegeta's fist sailing through the air at him. Instead of trying to dodge, the young scion stuck his sword out in front of him, using the blade to catch the brunt of Vegeta's attack. Vegeta howled in pain as the sword stuck in his hand. I'll kill you, you little brat. Vegeta threw Goku aside and brought his other fist around at the young demi-scion, but Gohan jumped out of the way just seconds ahead of him. Now Krillin, Gohan said inside Krillin's head. Right, Krillin said. Destructo disc. Krillin launched the spinning disc of energy at Vegeta's tail, just as Gohan rebounded off a rock and landed a foot right in Vegeta's forehead. The giant ape was so intent on revenge that he never saw the disc of energy until it sliced right through his tail. Almost immediately, Vegeta began to shrink as his fur receded and his face turned back to normal. The Saiyan Prince scowled. I'll kill you all for that. What? Krillin stammered. How can he still be standing after all that? Every time Goku transformed, he was out cold after losing his tail. Don't worry, Krillin, Gohan said. He's quite a bit weaker now. I still have enough power to kill all of you, Vegeta snarled. Let's see you try, Gohan said, grinning. What are you, crazy? Krillin asked. No, Gohan replied. I think I can take him. No sooner than the words were out of Gohan's mouth, he charged forward at the Saiyan Prince, burying a fist in his stomach. Spit and blood shot out of Vegeta's mouth as the blow hit. Unfortunately for Gohan, Vegeta recovered quickly and brought a fist of his own up into Gohan's face, sending the boy flying back. Gohan flipped over in air and rebounded off the ground and charged back at the Saiyan. He threw a kick at Vegeta's face, but the prince brought his hand up and blocked the blow before it could hit. Gohan threw a fist around on Vegeta's blind side and connected full force on the prince's head. Vegeta was sent flying back, but he quickly recovered and was back in the fray. The two warriors exchanged blows, each warrior managing to block most of the other's punches. Neither one had a distinct advantage at this point. DBZ. Wow, Gohan sure is good, Krillin said from where he was attending to Goku. Yes, he is, Goku said. But Vegeta is still stronger. Krillin, I need you to take some energy to defeat Vegeta. But Goku, Krillin said, I don't think you have enough energy left for you, let alone enough to attack with. No, this isn't my energy, Goku said weakly. It's the remnants of the spirit bomb. Most of it slipped away, but I think there might be enough left. DBZ. Gohan leapt to the left as Vegeta's fist passed through where he'd been standing only seconds before. The young demi-scion brought his hands up over his head. Masenko HA, he shouted, sending the yellow blast right at Vegeta. Vegeta barely had time to bring his hands up as the blast hit him full force. The air around the Saiyan Prince was filled with smoke, but when it finally cleared, Vegeta was bruised and cut but still going strong. The prince charged at Gohan and buried a fist in his stomach and then elbowed the boy in the face, sending him crashing into the ground hard. DBZ. Good, Goku said as he transferred what was left of the spirit bomb to Krillin. Now concentrate and form it into a ball. Krillin grunted as he concentrated on the energy in the spirit bomb. Slowly, the raw energy formed a ball. How do I use this? Krillin asked. Just throw it when the time is right, Goku assured his friend. Krillin flew up to the top of a cliff where he could see the battle a little better. I hope this works. DBZ. Gohan slowly picked himself up off the ground, wiping a trace amount of blood from his lip. Not bad, but you'll have to do better than that before I'm beaten, Gohan taunted. You insolent fool, Vegeta shouted as he charged at Gohan. Before the prince could reach him, Gohan shot a blast of ki out of his hand and right into the ground. The force of the blast propelled him high into the air above an unsuspecting Vegeta. Masenko HA, Gohan shouted as he let another one of his blasts go. Vegeta was caught right in the middle of the attack, having no time to react. As soon as the blast was out of his hand, Gohan began to throw blast after blast into the crater where Vegeta was lying. After about a minute, the firing stopped and Gohan was left panting for breath. Did I get him? The tired Demisaiyan asked. All eyes turned to the crater where Vegeta had been as the Z-fighters waited for the smoke to clear. When the dust finally settled, Vegeta was standing there, beaten and bloody but still alive. I'm rather impressed, Vegeta said with a laugh. Not even Nappa was capable of an attack like that. I'll give you the same offer I gave Kakarot. Join me and we'll be unstoppable. You and your friend killed Piccolo, Gohan said. You expect me to join you after what you've done. Fine then, Vegeta said. Then prepare to meet Oblivion. Vegeta charged at Gohan and hit him across the face before the boy can even react. Vegeta followed up his attack with a knee to the stomach, doubling Gohan over in pain. The prince finished by bringing his fist up in an uppercut that caught Gohan in the chin, sending the boy flying back to the ground hard. Vegeta gathered a ball of energy in his hand and pointed it at Gohan. DBZ. Now, Krillin thought as he pulled back his arm and threw the spirit bomb right at Vegeta's back. DBZ. Vegeta grinned as he prepared to deliver the death blow to the young Demisaiyan. Before he could throw it, Krillin's spirit bomb hit him in the back and carried him up into the air, slowly burning through his armor. In seconds, Vegeta was carried high into the air where the bomb exploded. We did it, Krillin shouted, coming down and picking a semi-conscious Gohan off the ground and hoisting him up. Are you all right, Gohan? Krillin asked. Yeah, I'll be fine, Gohan said as he stood up. Just then, Vegeta came crashing down to the ground in a heap. Slowly, the Saiyan Prince pushed himself to his feet and groaned from the pain. You'll all pay for that. Vegeta walked over to where Gohan and Krillin were standing. I'm going to enjoy tearing you two. Vegeta suddenly lost his train of thought when he saw the furry brown appendage between Gohan's legs. Shit, Vegeta thought. That fake moon is still going to shine for a few hours. Vegeta gathered a ball of ki in his hand to finish Gohan off before he could transform, but the young Demisaiyan leapt out of the way. The blast exploded, sending Krillin flying to the side, unconscious from the concussion. Gohan landed behind Vegeta and looked right at the Saiyan Prince. The young Demisaiyan looked up for a split second, catching a glimpse of the fake moon. Almost instantly, Gohan's heart began to beat faster and faster. Hair grew all over Gohan and a snout formed on his face. His clothes were ripped to shreds as his body quickly outgrew them. A few seconds later, Vegeta stared up at a very angry Oozuru. Gohan brought a fist forward at Vegeta, sending the Saiyan Prince flying back. Gohan then lost sight of Vegeta and began to blast rocks around him at random, not caring what or who he might hit. Gohan, Goku said telepathically, you must concentrate or the Earth will be destroyed. Gohan continued to blast things at random. Don't make Piccolo's sacrifice for nothing. Gohan suddenly stopped his rampage, suddenly regaining control of himself. The Oozuru turned to where Vegeta was standing and launched a blast at the Saiyan Prince. Vegeta leapt out of the way just in time but was caught by Gohan's fist, sending him toward the ground. Before he could hit, Gohan brought his foot up and kicked the Saiyan Prince, sending him flying. Vegeta stopped his flight in midair and turned toward Gohan, charging at him again. He weaved to the left, barely avoiding a fist from the Oozuru. Vegeta made a disc of energy in his hand and threw it at Gohan's tail, slicing through it in an instant. The prince turned to retreat, but Gohan fell on him as he was shrinking back to normal, knocking him to the ground unconscious. A few minutes later, Vegeta woke up. "I can barely move," the prince of all Saiyans thought. "I can't believe I was beaten by such low classes." He took a little remote from in his armor and pressed a few buttons. DBZ. In the remains of a destroyed city half a planet away, Vegeta's ship rose up into the air and began to fly toward him. DBZ. Krillin slowly got to his feet and limped over toward Vegeta. Along the way, he saw Gohan's sword laying on the ground. "I might need this," he said, picking up the weapon. He groaned from the effort. "How does Gohan carry this thing?" he said. "It weighs a ton." Vegeta slowly crawled toward where his ship was descending from the sky. Before he could reach it, he was met by an angry monk. Krillin towered over him with the tip of the sword pointed at the Saiyan's chest. "Now I'm going to end this." "No, Krillin, don't," Goku said. "But he'll just come back if we don't get rid of him now." "Don't worry," Goku said. "I'll be ready for him." "But Goku, he deserves another chance. We gave Piccolo another chance and now he's one of us." "Oh, all right," Krillin stammered. "I hope you know what you're doing." "Me too," Goku said. Vegeta crawled up into his spaceship and settled in. "I will return," he said. "And when I do, you're all dead." With that, the Saiyan pod shot into the air and was out of sight in seconds. Chapter 11. Krillin looked at the sky as the Saiyan pod flew away. "I hope Goku knows what he's doing," the monk thought. He limped over to where Gohan laid face down unconscious. "Man, he looks bad." Krillin picked up the unconscious Demi-Saiyan, then walked over to Goku. "You guys did great," Goku said. "What if Vegeta comes back?" Krillin stammered the thought that had been on his mind for the last several minutes. "Don't worry," Goku replied. "I'll train extra hard so I can be ready for him next time." Suddenly, the two fighters see a ship in the sky descending toward them. "Shit," Krillin said. "Vegeta's back." "Hello down there." A voice interrupts them. "Are you guys okay?" "Master Roshi," Krillin said. "I'm glad it's you." The small hover vehicle landed a few minutes later, and the whole gang who'd been watching the fight from Rashi's island disembarked. "My baby!" Chi-Chi screamed and ran over to where Krillin was holding a still unconscious Gohan. The crazy woman grabbed her son from the monk and cradled him in her arms. "Are you all right, Gohan?" "He'll be all right," Krillin assured her. "I don't think Vegeta broke any bones or anything." DBZ. A few hours later, after collecting the dead, Goku, Krillin, and Gohan sat in the hospital. Goku was in a complete life support unit, while Gohan and Krillin were both just wearing a few bandages. Bulma and Chi-Chi were both pacing by the door. "We need a ship capable of reaching Namek," Bulma said. "Yeah, it's too bad that you destroyed that other Saiyan pod," Krillin replied. "It's not my fault. How was I supposed to know that it had a password and self-destruct?" "We'll figure something out," Goku said from his bed. "I can't believe I have to be in this bed for a whole year," he said, changing the subject. "Don't worry," Yajirobe said that Korin was working on some sensu beans for you, Gohan said. "Hey, look out there," Krillin said. "It's Mr. Popo." Krillin walked over and opened the window. "Hey, Mr. Popo, what are you doing here?" "I have news for you." "Yeah, what's that?" "I know where the ship that Kami came to Earth in is." "That's great," Bulma shouted. "Now we can go to Namek for sure." "Where is it at?" Gohan asked. "Out in the middle of nowhere," Popo replied. "Great," Gohan said, heading for the window. "Let's go get it." "Not so fast," Chi-Chi shouted. "You're in no condition to go anywhere." "I'm fine, Mom." "You're hurt. You need rest." "Just listen to her," Krillin whispered. "Besides, the only one who needs to go check the ship out is Bulma. She's the one that's going to fly it after all." I guess you're right. Slowly Bulma crept forward and inched her way onto Mr. Popo's magic carpet. In minutes they were off. A few more minutes later they were there. It doesn't look like much of a ship, Bulma said. Let's go inside and look, Popo replied. How do you open it? It has a password. Popo walked up to the ship. Piccolo, the door slowly slid down and he and Bulma got aboard. Okay, now how do we fly it? Its voice activated. Okay, Bulma said, walking over to the control panel. Take me to Jupiter. She frowned when nothing happened. What's the deal? You have to speak Namek. Okay, tell it to take us to Jupiter. Popo said some words in Namek and in seconds they were blasting off and out of Earth's atmosphere. A few seconds later they were at Jupiter. Great, it works, Bulma exclaimed. DBZ. Guess what? Bulma said, rushing in the door at the hospital. We can go to planet Namek and get the Namekian Dragon Balls in Kami's old ship. We should have it ready to go in a few days. I'll go with you, Krillin said. Me too, Gohan added. I owe it to Piccolo. No, you're not going, Chi-Chi said, coming into the room. Yes, I am. You just came back to me after being gone a year. You're not going. Bulma and Krillin might need my help if they run into Vegeta out there. Vegeta is just another reason for you not to go. But I'm the only one strong enough to handle him if necessary. But you could get hurt. I'm going and that's final, Gohan screamed. DBZ. The next few days passed quickly and it wasn't long until our warriors were getting ready for their trip to Namek. Where's Gohan at? Krillin said as he paced in front of the ship. Just as he spoke, a car pulled up with Gohan, Chi-Chi, and Ox King in it. Gohan quickly jumped out and headed toward the ship. Krillin and Bulma both sweat dropped when they saw the boy. Gohan was dressed in a little outfit with a suit shit and jacket and a pair of shorts to go with it. His hair had been slicked down into a bowl cut. After saying their goodbyes and promising Chi-Chi that Gohan would study hard during the trip, the three travelers finally got Gohan's luggage onto the ship. Once on board, Krillin spoke up. You don't really like wearing that stuff, do you? No. My mom made me wear it, but I packed my own stuff when she wasn't looking. Gohan went into the other room for a minute. When he returned, he was dressed in a blue GI with a red undershirt and red wristbands. Completing his outfit was his sword strapped firmly on his back. That's a lot like what Piccolo wore, Krillin stammered. Yeah, Gohan replied. But I like the weighted undershirt and wristbands better than cape and turban. Good choice. There's just one more thing I have to do, Gohan said. He suddenly raised his power and a white aura surrounded him. In seconds the aura died down and where his hair was in a bowl cut before it was now in the typical Goku style. There, that's better. DBZ. Deep in space at an unknown planet, Vegeta's space pod came in for a landing. He's using his life support, a voice said. Get a medical team in here. A team of aliens rushed over to Vegeta's ship and drugged the Saiyan Prince from his seat. Get him in a rejuvenation tank. The medics put Vegeta in a tank and it began to fill with liquid. The prince sat there in silence, slowly healing. DBZ. Bulma paced back and forth through the spaceship as it drew closer and closer to Namek. They'd been on it for about 2 weeks now and she was getting restless. Why didn't I install a suspended animation chamber? She asked herself. She looked over to where she saw Gohan sitting in a lotus position hovering about 6 inches of the floor. How can he just sit there like that for hours on end? I don't really know, Krillin answered. He's been deep in meditation for a while now. Gohan never moved from his spot and never opened his eyes. It's the only way I can train in this confined space. But how does that help you train? Bulma asked. You're just sitting there. I'm concentrating my ki so I can keep from losing so much energy in a fight. That's a good idea, Krillin put in. If we have to fight Vegeta, you'll need all the energy you can get. DBZ. Goku slowly climbed out of the hospital window and pushed his energy under him, rising into the air. I don't have time to lie in bed, he said to himself. I have to train so I'm ready if Vegeta comes back. Goku flew out into the wilderness and landed on top of cliff. This should be a good place to start. He let out a yell as he let his power rise. Small rocks began to rise into the air as his feet sank into the ground. The cliff under him began to crack before it finally came to pieces, collapsing under the Saiyan. Goku fell to the ground, his power-up ending abruptly. Goku picked himself up off the ground, rubbing his head. I guess I'm not quite 100% yet. I still need to train though. Goku leapt from the ground and charged into a cliff face, reducing it to rubble in one punch. The Saiyan warrior continued to use his speed and strength to demolish cliff after cliff. After destroying about 15 cliffs, Goku suddenly grabbed his stomach in pain and fell to the ground unconscious. DBZ. I can't believe Goku ran off to train, Chi-Chi screamed. Don't worry, we'll find him, Rashi assured her. He's still injured. He could get himself killed. Suddenly Chi-Chi pointed out the windshield of the copter. Look, there he is. Let's get him back to the hospital. DBZ. Vegeta took in a deep breath as the liquid slow drained from the rejuvenation tank. The prince stepped out of the tank and took in the two aliens in front of him. You're completely healed, one of the medics told him. We weren't able to reconstruct your tail though, the other one said. It's all right, Vegeta replied. I won't need it. He paused for a minute and asked, where's Frieza? He went to the planet Namek. I got to beat him there, Vegeta thought. The prince ran from the room toward his ship. He was stopped when he ran into a purple fish-faced alien. Where do you think you're going, Vegeta? Kuei? Stay out of my way or I'll send you to oblivion. Like you could. I don't have time for this, Vegeta said as he jumped into his ship and pushed some buttons. In an instant, the Saiyan pod was blasting off toward the planet Namek. Chapter 12. Gohan, Bulma, and Krillin stepped out of the ship and looked around. So this is Namek, Krillin said. He looked down at the new blue undershirt and the wristbands that Gohan had given him. Are you sure this weighted clothing will make me stronger? Yeah, Gohan said. It will also help conceal your power level if they try to find us with scouters. Yeah, Krillin responded. I've felt how your dad's power shot up after taking off weights before. Suddenly Gohan looked to the side where a Saiyan space pod shot through the air and hit the ground not far away. Keep your power suppressed or Vegeta will find us. Are you sure it's Vegeta? Bulma asked. Yeah, Gohan said. It's him all right. After fighting him on Earth, I'd know his key anywhere. All right, Krillin said. Bulma, you go back on the ship to Earth and bring Goku back with you. We may need him. Wait, Gohan said. Vegeta would see the ship taking off. It's best we don't do anything to attract attention. Yeah, we can wait for nightfall, Bulma suggested. No, that's no good, Krillin said. I saw more than one sun as we came in. It could be a long time before nightfall. Before the trio could argue further, a small blast shot right at Bulma. Before it could hit, Gohan grabbed the blue-haired woman and leapt out of the way. Unfortunately, the blast continued on to hit the spaceship, causing some major damage. What was that? Gohan said. Stop now, an alien voice said. You're coming with us to see Lord Frieza. The three Earthlings looked over to see two reptile-like aliens standing there with scouters on. The first alien hit his scouter and then turned to his partner. Those two are at 25 apiece and the girl is at 2. The other alien turned to the group. Come with us. You have no chance at escape. I doubt that, Gohan retorted. You don't know what you're dealing with, kid, the first one said. My power level is at 500. If you want me, come and get me, Gohan replied. If you insist, the first alien said. The creature charged at Gohan with a fist ready to strike, but his fist passed only through Gohan's afterimage. The alien looked around in confusion. Where'd he go? Gohan appeared behind him and tapped him on the shoulder. That was a nice try, but I don't think you know what you're dealing with. Before he could continue, the alien lashed out with a flurry of kicks and punches aimed at the Demi-Scion's head. Gohan simply leaned his head to the left and right, avoiding every blow with ease. Gohan, Krillin said. We don't have time for this. Right? Gohan quickly caught the alien's hand in vice grip right in the middle of a punch. With a quick squeeze, he crushed the fighter's hand. With another quick backhand, the first of Frisia's henchmen was sent flying into a mountain and out of the fight. Gohan turned to the other alien. Now surrender and I won't hurt you. The other alien decided to try his luck against Krillin and was quickly rendered unconscious from a single blow. We have a problem, Bulma said. What's that? Gohan asked. Our ship is damaged beyond repair. I can't go for help. We should find some cover so we're not found again, Krillin suggested. Right, Gohan replied. DBZ. Back on Earth, Goku laid in the hospital bed just miserable. Why can't I start training? I'll need to be strong in case Vegeta comes back. You need to let your body heal, Chi-Chi said from the bed beside him. You could kill yourself if you overdo it now. You're still in pretty bad shape. That's right, the doctor added. You've still got 3 or 4 months before you'll be in good shape again. Although you should be happy that you are healing a lot faster than we expected. Another 3 or 4 months, Goku whined. I don't think I can stand being here that much longer. Good news, Yajirobe interrupted, entering the room. Korin just finished a new batch of senzu beans for you. Great, Goku shouted, jumping up from the bed in excitement. Reaching out his hand, he caught the bean that the samurai threw at him and quickly shoved it into his mouth. You can't have any unauthorized food, the bewildered doctor shouted. It's against hospital policy. Goku simply ignored the man and flexed his muscles, ripping all the bandages to shreds. In less than a minute, the Saiyan had changed out of his hospital robes and into his typical uniform. Well, I've got to go, Goku said as he grabbed the bag of senzu beans from Yajirobe and jumped out the window. The Saiyan warrior leapt from the window and free fell for several feet before he spoke up. Nimbus. From seemingly out of nowhere, the flying Nimbus flew under Goku and the warrior took off into the distance. Goku, get back here, Chi-Chi shouted out the window. You just got healed and you're already running off for another adventure. DBZ. Back on Namek, Gohan, Krillin, and Bulma stood in a cave near where their ship landed. Now stay here, Krillin said. Gohan and I will find the Dragon Balls. But I can help you. You'd just be a liability if we ran into any more of those aliens or if we ran into Vegeta, Gohan said. Yeah, I guess you're right, Bulma said. She looked down at the dragon radar. Look, there's 4 Dragon Balls together already. That's not good, Krillin said. That means someone is already gathering the Dragon Balls. Is it Vegeta? Bulma said. No, Gohan said. But the power levels that I'm feeling in that direction are even larger than Vegeta's. Or at least one of them is, Krillin said. They're heading this way too, Gohan added. Quick, Krillin said. Hide and suppress your power level. The 3 Earthlings stood pressed against the wall of the cave as several figures flew by. Did you feel the evil in that one? Gohan said. Yeah, he was bad all right, Krillin responded. Let's go, Gohan said. We need to know what they're up to. You can't be serious, Bulma interjected. You just said they were more powerful than Vegeta. Don't worry, Gohan said. We'll keep our power suppressed. Gohan and Krillin took off after the group of warriors. They hopped from rock to rock, staying low to avoid detection. DBZ. Goku landed at Capsule Corporation a few minutes later. He walked into the back where Dr. Briefs was working on a space pod similar to the one he'd come to Earth in, but much bigger. Is it ready yet? It'll be another week before it's ready to go. But they need me on Namek now. What's left to be done? The cappuccino machine needs installed. I don't need a cappuccino machine. All right, your loss. Don't blame me when you get halfway there and you're missing your cappuccino. I'll be fine. After learning how to fly the ship and work the gravity machine that was built in, Goku took off in his ship headed for planet Namek. DBZ. Bulma sat in a tub in the house she'd decapsulized in the cave when the phone rang. Hello. Bulma, Dr. Briefs said over the phone. I've got good news. Goku is on his way there. He'll be there in a week. That's great, Bulma shouted, throwing the phone at the tub and jumping for joy. We'll be able to beat Vegeta for sure now. DBZ. Frisia's already here, Vegeta said to himself. I just need to avoid him long enough to find all the Dragon Balls and then I'll be unstoppable. Not so fast, a voice said from behind him. Kuei? Vegeta said, turning around. What are you doing here? I'm here to stop you. Don't make me laugh. You are no match for my power. You're a fool, Vegeta, if you think you'll be able to beat Lord Frieza. Unlike you, who have been getting lazy behind the lines, I have been on the front lines only growing stronger. DBZ. Lord Frieza, Dodoria said. Vegeta's on the planet. I know, the shorter alien with a purple head and horns answered. Don't worry, Vegeta is no match for us. This big fat pink alien grimaced. He's facing Kuei right now. Don't worry, Dodoria. Kuei will finish him off. A tall blue-skinned alien with long green hair and a perfect complexion said. Yeah, you're probably right, Zarbin. Dodoria hit his scouter and the numbers started scrolling up. Suddenly, before he could get a reading, the machine exploded on his face. Don't worry, Zarbin said. It's just your old model scouter. Zarbin hit his scouter and stared at the number in shock. 24,000, that's impossible. There's 3 things I can't stand, Frieza said. One is boasting, the second is bad haircuts, the third is military insurrections. And Vegeta has all 3. Frieza calmed from his little speech just now, hearing Zarbin. He's still not a threat to us, Frieza said. He's just a nuisance. Now let's deal with these Namekians so I can have another Dragon Ball. DBZ. Kuei charged forward at Vegeta, bringing a fist around at the Saiyan Prince, but Vegeta simply leaned his head to the left and avoided the blow completely. The bug-eyed alien then brought his knee up at Vegeta but was caught by surprise when Vegeta was no longer there. Is that all you've got? Vegeta said from below on the ground. I'll show you. Kuei let loose with blast after blast of ki. The area around Vegeta was filled with smoke as blasts by the hundreds hit. That should do it. Kuei turned to leave but found that Vegeta was blocking his path. That might have hurt, the prince said. If you would have actually hit me. Vegeta brought his fist around and right into Kuei's stomach, doubling the alien over in pain. Vegeta revved back again and backhanded the bug-eyed alien, sending him flying into the ground hard. The Saiyan Prince extended his hand and let a blast fly at Kuei, incinerating him instantly. That was pathetic, Vegeta said as he continued his flying. DBZ. Gohan and Krillin peeked over the ridge down at the Namekian village. Down below stood Frieza, Zarbin, Dodoria, and several other henchmen. We saw 3 warriors leaving here earlier, Zarbin said. Where did they go? I don't know what you're talking about, Mori, the village elder, answered. It's of no concern, Frieza said. Where's the Dragon Ball? Again, I don't know what you're talking about. Refresh his memory, boys, Frieza said. Dodoria and Zarbin began aimlessly blasting Namekian villagers without even appearing to be breaking a sweat at all. No, I've got to stop them, Gohan said as he began to get up from where he and Krillin were hidden. No, Gohan, you'll just get yourself killed too. After just a minute, the only Namex left in the village were Muri and 2 little children that were huddled behind him. Now, are you going to tell us where the Dragon Ball is? Frieza asked. No, he won't, a voice said. 3 Namekian warriors landed between the elder and the evil warriors. So there's where the warriors we were looking for went, Dodoria said. We'll put an end to you, the lead warrior said. Zarbin hit his scouter. 500 apiece. I don't think so. We'll let the foot soldiers handle this, Dodoria joked. 2 of Frieza's men charged at the Namex, but within seconds the lead warrior buried a fist in the first one's stomach and sent a blast right through him without even trying. He then turned and kicked the other henchman in the face, sending him flying back. The unfortunate warrior was blasted by one of the other Namekian warriors before he could recover. Well, it looks like they have more fight in them after all, Zarbin said. I'll handle them. Before the words left their mouths, all 3 Namex let out a blast. The first hit Zarbin's scouter, the second hit Frieza's scouter, and the third hit the one remaining henchman's scouter. You'll pay for that, Zarbin said. He charged at the first warrior and landed a quick punch in his stomach. The warrior was almost rendered unconscious from the blow but recovered enough to throw a punch of his own at Zarbin. The blue-skinned alien dodged the blow without even moving and quickly blasted the warrior, incinerating him. He let out another blast, killing another Namekian warrior as Dodoria let a blast go that killed the last warrior. Now, Frisia said, "Where's the Dragon Ball?" Mori hung his head in defeat as he walked into his hut and returned a minute later with the Dragon Ball. "Now leave us in peace." "I'll leave you in pieces," Frisia said as he blasted Mori into the next dimension. "Now Dodoria, dispose of those kids." Dodoria wasted no time in blasting the first of the little Namex and then turned to the other one. "That's enough," Gohan yelled as he charged at the fat pink warrior. Gohan's kick connected right on Dodoria's head and sent him flying back. Dodoria looked up in anger and confusion. "Who did that?" "I did," Gohan said as he charged the big fat alien again and landed his fist right in his face. Dodoria stumbled back from the blow but quickly recovered. The pink alien charged forward at Gohan, but the Demi-Scion leapt out of the way just in the nick of time. "I'll kill you," Dodoria shouted. Before the big lug could hit Gohan, Krillin charged in and delivered a kick of his own to Dodoria. He then ran over and grabbed the Namekian child. "Come on, let's go." "Right," Gohan said as he and Krillin both took off flying. "Don't just stand there, you idiot," Frisia said. "Go after them." "Yes, sire," Dodoria said as he took off after the two Earthlings. "He's coming after us," Krillin said, looking behind them. "I know, but I couldn't just stand by and watch him kill anymore. Now we've got to loose him. Go on ahead, I'll hold him off." "What?" Krillin stammered. "Have you felt his power? It's not much more than Vegeta's was on Earth." "Yeah, but Vegeta kicked your butt on Earth." "Yeah, but I'm stronger now and his technique is really sloppy. I think I can handle him." "I hope you know what you're doing." Gohan slowed down to a halt and let Krillin go on ahead with the Namekian child. The Demi-Scion just floated in midair waiting for the pink warrior to arrive. Dodoria suddenly stopped when he saw the boy waiting for him. Well, decided to stop running, I see. Where's your friend?" "That's none of your concern. Your fight is with me." "All right, kid, let's go." Chapter 13. Dodoria charged at Gohan and threw a fist at the young Demi-Scion. Gohan moved his arm up and blocked just in time to avoid having his head taken off. "This guy might be stronger than I thought," Gohan thought to himself. "Ha!" the boy yelled as he shot a blast in the ground, propelling himself high above Dodoria. Using the minute of distraction, Gohan fired blast after blast at the pink alien. Dodoria simply blocked them all and laughed. "You can do better than that, can't you?" "I'm just getting warmed up." Gohan threw his wristbands to the ground and then reached under his GI and removed his undershirt. Dodoria's eyes went wide when the clothes made a noticeable dent in the ground. "There, that's better," Gohan said. "You're still no match for me, kid," Dodoria said as he appeared behind Gohan and punched him right in the back. Gohan went flying away from the warrior but quickly recovered and shot at Dodoria with new speed. Dodoria charged right at the oncoming Scion and sent a fist right through him, or at least through his afterimage. "Where'd he go?" Dodoria looked around in confusion. "Masenko, HA!" Gohan shouted as he let the blast go from above and behind Dodoria. The blast hit Dodoria right in the back of the head and sent him flying to the ground before it finally exploded, kicking up a huge cloud of dust. "Not bad, kid. I have to give you some credit. You are a true warrior. You might even be able to join Lord Frisia's forces." "I'd never join the likes of you," Gohan shouted as he threw blast after blast at Dodoria. The pink alien simply let them hit him, doing little or no damage. "You may be skilled, but you're still no match for me," Dodoria said as he charged up at Gohan, catching the Scion by surprise. Dodoria's fist connected right on Gohan's chin hard and sent the boy flying back into a cliff face, crumbling it and making it fall on top of him. DBZ. Not far away, Krillin landed with the Namekian boy and suppressed his power to 0. "I hope Gohan knows what he's doing." The monk paced back and forth while worrying about Gohan. That monster's power is so high and Gohan's nowhere near that level. He turned to the little Namekian. "Stay here, I've got to go help Gohan." DBZ. Gohan crawled out from under his pile of rocks and wiped some blood from his mouth. "Not bad," he said, grinning, "but you still won't win." "What makes you think that?" "Because now I'm taking this fight serious." Gohan drew his sword from his sheath and charged at Dodoria, swinging the blade down at the monster's head. Dodoria dodged to the right just in time to avoid being hit by the blade, only to receive a kick in the gut from Gohan's foot. Dodoria charged back at Gohan, but the boy was one step ahead of the monster. Gohan threw his sword up in the air and raised his hands to his face. "Solar flare!" he shouted as he created blinding light with his ki. Gohan then jumped up and grabbed his falling sword from the air and brought it down on a blinded Dodoria, slicing the monster's right arm clean off. "I'll kill you for that, you little brat!" Dodoria screamed, still not seeing very clearly. "Leave the planet now and I won't kill you," Gohan said. "That arm could have just as easily been your head." "I'm still stronger than you," Dodoria shouted as he charged Gohan and landed his left fist right in the Scion's face. The blow sent Gohan back and caused him to drop his sword. Dodoria followed that blow with a kick at Gohan's gut that connected hard, leaving the Scion gasping for air. Finally, Dodoria brought his one remaining fist down hard on the top of Gohan's head, sending him flying hard into the ground, where he impacted with enough force to create a huge crater. Dodoria followed up his attack by throwing blast after blast from his one remaining arm into the crater. "There, that should do it," he said to himself, panting. When the smoke cleared, Gohan stood shakily on his feet. He was bruised and bloody, but he was still standing. The Scion flashed the alien a grin. "Not bad. I didn't expect you to do all that after such an injury, but I didn't work. And I won't be caught off guard again." Gohan charged up off the ground and hit Dodoria right in the face with his right fist, sending the alien flying back. He then brought his other fist around at the monster's gut, but Dodoria blocked with his one remaining arm and brought a leg around at Gohan. The Demi-Scion blocked the blow and grinned as he saw an opening. Grabbing Dodoria's hand with on hand and gathering ki in the other, Gohan sent a blast right into Dodoria's face. Dodoria howled in pain as the blast hit him right in the eyes. Gohan wasted no time and landed a hard kick right to the same place as the blast hit. Gohan came around again with another fist aimed at the alien, but Dodoria somehow managed to block the blow before it could connect. About this time, Krillin arrived on the scene. Man, Gohan is actually winning, he thought. Suddenly he felt a power growing closer. "It's Vegeta." "Gohan," Krillin said telepathically. "Vegeta's coming, we have to go now." "Right," Gohan replied. The young Scion brought both fists down on Dodoria's head and sent him flying into a crater. Then the boy sent blast after blast into the crater, hitting Dodoria over and over again. Gohan then dived down and grabbed his sword off the ground and put it back in its sheath. Seconds later, he picked up his undershirt and wristband and flew up beside Krillin. "Let's go." The two warriors from Earth took off at full speed. In minutes, they landed where Krillin had been hiding with Dend and suppressed their power. "That was some good fighting, kid. I didn't think you would stand a chance against that kind of power, but you defeated him." "No," Gohan replied. "I didn't have enough power to destroy him with those blasts. He's still alive." "Yeah, but so are you," Krillin replied. "That's all that counts." "I was a fool," Gohan said. "I could have finished it early. But then I let my guard down." "There's nothing wrong with showing mercy, Gohan. I could have finished him when I cut his arm off, though. But it shows more character that you didn't." "Oh, well," Gohan said as he put his undershirt and wristbands back on. "It's over now anyway. DBZ. Dodoria crawled out from his hole in the ground, slightly bruised and bloodied but far from defeated. "I'll kill you for that." "You'll try," a voice said from behind him. Dodoria turned around and stared in shock. "Vegeta, what are you doing here?" "I felt your little skirmish and I was curious." Dodoria regained his confidence and suddenly had a thought. "I'll let you live, Vegeta, if you give me your scouter." "All right," Vegeta said as he took off the scouter and threw it on the ground. "Take it." Dodoria lunged at the device, knowing how pleased Frieza would be. Before he could reach it, though, Vegeta brought his foot down on the device, crushing it into a million pieces. "Oops," Vegeta said, laughing. "You fool. Without that, we'll never find the Dragon Balls." "I don't need it," Vegeta replied. "I can sense power levels without it. It's a trick I picked up while I was on Earth. After seeing it done, it wasn't hard to duplicate." "That's impossible," Dodoria said. "Hardly, but I don't expect a weakling like yourself to understand." I could kill you in a heartbeat. Yeah, it looks like your fighting skills have improved so much from the looks of your right arm. Who did that to you anyway? It's none of your business. What? Are you and Zarbon having domestic problems again? Vegeta asked, laughing. You'll die for that, Dodoria said as he charged at Vegeta. In less than a second, Vegeta had a vice grip on Dodoria's remaining arm standing behind him. You are a fool to underestimate a Saiyan. Now you will die. No, wait, Dodoria pleaded. I can tell you what really happened to your home planet. What do you mean? You have to promise not to kill me, though. If you don't talk, you've got less than 3 seconds to live. All right, Dodoria said. Your planet wasn't hit by a meteor. Frieza destroyed it to stop the Saiyan threat. I knew he feared me. Please, Vegeta, he feared the combined Saiyan race. You're nothing to him. Now I've told you what you want to know. Now let me go. Let you go? Vegeta grinned. Who said I'd let you go? Vegeta swung Dodoria around by his arm and sent him flying into the air. A second later, he sent a blast after the body and disintegrated Dodoria instantly. Well, that handles that, Vegeta said, grinning. Now I just have to find out who did that to Dodoria. DBZ. 9,999. 10,000. Goku said as he did his 10,000th one-finger push-ups at 20 times gravity. This is really paying off. But I need to keep going. Goku started to throw punches and kicks at the air while still wearing his weighted clothing. Goku, King Kai said to him from far away. King Kai, is that you? Yes, and I've got some bad news for you. There is an evil being on Namek that is more powerful than Vegeta. His name is Frieza, and I want you to avoid him at all costs. I need to train extra hard then. No, Goku, you're not getting the point. You can't fight Frieza. He's out of your league. That's why I must train harder. Goku then started his set of 10,000 sit-ups. DBZ. After about an hour, Gohan and Krillin arrived back at the cave with the Namekian boy. Well, we made it back undetected, Krillin said. It was worth taking it slow. Excuse me, the Namekian child said. You aren't evil like the others, are you? No, Gohan said. We're here to try and wish back our friends that were killed by Vegeta. I'm Gohan and he's Krillin. And this is Bulma. I'm Dend. And thank you for saving me. But how do you know about the Dragon Balls? We had a set on our planet until Kami, our guardian, who was Namekian, died. Oh, I see. Chapter 14. Vegeta landed in one of the Namekian villages. I'm looking for a Dragon Ball, the prince said. There's no Dragon Ball here, the village elder stated. I don't believe you, Vegeta replied. Allow me to look for myself. Your intentions are not pure. Leave now. I don't think so. Vegeta smirked evilly as he sent a ki blast right through the elder. Now does someone want to tell me where the damn Dragon Ball is? All at once the other Nameks attacked Vegeta. But unfortunately for them, they were no match for the Prince of all Saiyans. In less than a minute, they were all dead and Vegeta walked into a hut and saw the Dragon Ball sitting there in plain sight. Well, that was easy. Vegeta picked up the ball and walked outside with it. He walked over to a lake right next to the village and tossed the ball in. There, that should keep it hidden from Frieza. With a laugh, Vegeta took to the air. DBZ. Gohan, Krillin, and Bulma sat in the cave eating dinner. You sure you don't want anything? Krillin asked Dend again. We Nameks don't eat. We just drink water. Oh, I didn't know that, Krillin said with a laugh. I thought it was just Bulma's cooking. Sudden, Gohan and Krillin both felt a strong power and several weaker ones. In minutes, all the weaker ones faded to nothing. That was Vegeta, Gohan said. And he killed all those people, Krillin added. Yeah, and he's probably got a Dragon Ball now, Gohan continued. We need to get a hold of one, so we can stop Vegeta and Frieza from making a wish, Krillin said. Guru, the father of all the Nameks, has the last Dragon Ball, Den said. You have to take us there, Gohan said, getting up from the table and wincing in pain from his fight with Dodoria. Look, kid, Krillin said. You're still not fully healed from that crazy stunt you pulled earlier. I better go get that Dragon Ball with Dend. But what if you run into Vegeta? Gohan asked. I think we'd be in trouble even if you were along. Besides, there's less of a chance of him finding me if I go alone. Yeah, you're right, Gohan admitted. So it's settled then, Krillin said. Dend and I will go visit Guru and get the Dragon Ball. He turns to Gohan. You stay here and heal and protect Bulma. Right, Gohan said. Good luck. Thanks, Krillin said as he took to the sky with Dend. DBZ. Goku did a backflip and kicked and punched air as fast as he could. Man, I'm really getting the hang of 30G, he said to himself as he continued to practice his martial arts in the increased gravity. Goku, can you hear me? Sure, King Kai. What's up? I have some visitors who want to say hi. Really? Who? Hey Goku. Yamcha says through King Kai's link. Yamcha, how's it going? Not bad, all of us are up here training with King Kai while you go off to Namek. Yeah, while you have all the fun, Piccolo growled. Hey Piccolo, I see you're there too. Yeah, that's right. Goku, King Kai interrupted. We don't have much time. You still have a lot of training to do. I just need to warn you to stay away from this guy on Namek named Frieza. He's way too powerful for you to take on. Then I need to train that much harder, Goku said. With that, Goku cranked the gravity up to 50G and started his training once again. DBZ. Krillin and Dend continued their slow trip to Guru's house. How much further is it? Krillin asked. About 2 hours at this speed, Dend answered. But any faster and we'll be detected, Krillin sighed. He looked up in panic. That's Vegeta. He's coming. Krillin and Dend both took to the ground and hid their powers before the Saiyan Prince could find them. DBZ. Where is that cursed Dragon Ball? Vegeta said to himself as he tried to detect power levels of another village. Maybe I should have kept that scouter after all. He turned and looked at a spot not far off. Wait, it's faint, but I feel 2 powers. The Prince of all Saiyans went to investigate but was suddenly distracted. Zarbin. Vegeta shot off in an interception course. It only took him a few minutes to reach the bluish-green warrior. Where are you going in such a rush? Vegeta smirked. Vegeta, I should have known, Zarbin said. If you must know, I'm looking for the last 2 Dragon Balls. We could use your help. Me? Help you? You're surely joking. I have my own plans for the Dragon Balls and they don't involve you or Frieza. Kuei should have killed you, Zarbin said. I won't make the same mistake. You are making the same mistake as both Kuei and Dodoria. You are underestimating a Saiyan. Dodoria? What are you talking about? He went off chasing those other 2 interlopers. What interlopers? Some bald guy and a kid. They didn't seem like much of a challenge. Them fools from Earth must have come here after the Dragon Balls. Dodoria made the same mistake. He underestimated a Saiyan, Vegeta said with pride. What are you talking about? That kid is half Saiyan. When I found Dodoria, he was missing an arm from some kind of fight. It appears the kid was a little tougher than Dodoria thought. That kid killed Dodoria? No, I did that, you fool. After he told me that it was Frieza that blew up planet Vegeta. But yes, Dodoria lost to that kid. That's impossible. No Saiyan is that strong, especially not a kid. That kid is nowhere near as strong as either you or I. Dodoria was a fool and went in thinking he'd already won. There's more to a fight than power. Even you know that. Yes, Dodoria was always rather foolish. But you will die for your treachery, Vegeta. Zarbin charged at the Saiyan warrior with an elbow to the face, but Vegeta dodged to the side without too much effort. A frustrated Zarbin followed up with a ki blast at Vegeta, who simply swatted it aside. Do you really think you can beat me? Vegeta charged at the green warrior and buried his fist in his stomach, doubling him over in pain. Before the other warrior could react, Vegeta flung his fist into Zarbin's face. Vegeta threw the warrior into the ground and blasted him with blast after blast of ki. Zarbin crawled out of his crater and wiped some blood from his mouth. You'll pay for that, Vegeta. And how do you propose to make me pay? Just let me transform and I'll show you what true power is. Okay, go ahead. It won't make a difference. Zarbon began to scream as his power rose and his body expanded and became more than twice his normal build. His face turned from beautiful to hideous. Now you'll die. I'm one of the only beings other than Frisia that can transform. Making yourself ugly won't help you. Before Vegeta could finish his insults, Zarbon's fist planted itself right in his stomach. Vegeta was sent flying back from the other warrior. Not wasting a single second, Zarbon charged the Saiyan Prince, landing blow after blow on the proud warrior. In less than a minute, the fight was essentially over. Zarbon grabbed a hold of Vegeta's falling body and used his power to give it some more speed as it hit the ground. Vegeta impacted and made a huge crater which began to fill from a nearby lake. Well, even if he's still breathing, he won't be for long, Zarbon said as he took off to report the good news to Frisia. DBZ. Vegeta's fighting someone pretty strong, Krillin said. Now's our chance. He grabbed a hold of Dend and took off toward Guru's house at full speed. In just a few short minutes, they arrive at the house on top of the tall pillar and land just outside. They are greeted at the doorway by a tall Namekian warrior. He looks just like Piccolo, Krillin stammers. Hey Nail, Den said. We need to see Guru. Right this way, Nail answered. The two entered the house and Krillin gasped as he saw the biggest Namek ever. Guru sat at about 7 foot and was about 5 feet wide. The elder sat with his eyes closed. Mr. Guru, Krillin began, I'm here to ask you if we can have the Dragon Ball. What do you wish to use it for? Guru answered. We want to wish our friends that Vegeta killed back to life, the monk answered. But most of all, we need to keep Vegeta or Frisia from finding it. You may have the Dragon Ball, Guru said. Now come closer. Krillin walked forward and received the Dragon Ball from Guru. Then the eldest Namek placed a hand on the bald warrior's head. Now I'll awaken your hidden powers. Okay, Krillin said, somewhat skeptical. Suddenly his aura expanded as a rush of energy overtook him. Just as soon as it had started, it was over. Man, I feel great, Krillin exclaimed. I could probably beat Vegeta now. Krillin turned back to Guru. Can you unlock anyone's hidden power? Yes, as long as it's there. Great. My friend Gohan has more power in him than anyone I know. Can I bring him here to unlock his power? If Gohan gets the same boost I did, we might actually stand a chance against Vegeta and maybe even Frisia. Yes. With that, the warrior said his goodbyes and he took off toward where Bulma and Gohan were with renewed speed. DBZ. There's a Dragon Ball heading for us fast, Bulma said, looking at the radar. It must be Krillin, Gohan said. And it feels like he's a lot stronger. The other ball seems to still be where that village was, Bulma commented. Vegeta must not have been able to find it, Gohan said with a grin. I'll go get it. You sure you're up to it? Bulma asked. You did take quite a beating earlier. That was nothing. I was in worse shape after fighting Vegeta. Besides, I'm at 110% now. Really? Yeah, I feel stronger than ever. Okay. Gohan took the radar and with a burst of energy he was off to find the other Dragon Ball. Chapter 15. Vegeta crawled out of the pool of water, beaten and bloody but still breathing. You fool, Vegeta said to the departing Zarbon. All you did was make me stronger. With that thought, the Saiyan Prince lost consciousness. DBZ. Zarbon landed at Frisia's ship and quickly entered his lord's chamber. Lord Frisia, I'm proud to say that Vegeta has been handled. Well, where is he? Frisia responded. He's dead. Where's the body? Well, it's in the bottom of a lake. How do you know he's dead then? There's no way he could have survived that last attack I did on him. But you didn't make sure because you didn't want to get wet. Sire, an underling interrupted. I found the remains of a village, but the Dragon Ball is gone. Frisia raised a hand and blasted the underling. You see, he said to Zarbon. Vegeta had that Dragon Ball. We need that information from him. You better hope that he survived or else you'll have the same fate as this underling. Now go and find him. Yes, sire. Zarbon exited Frisia's chambers and took off to where he'd left Vegeta. DBZ. So he is alive, Zarbon said to himself as he picked up Vegeta. He's in pretty bad shape though. I'll have to put him in a rejuvenation tank before we can get any information. Zarbon shot into the air with the Scion Prince over his shoulder. DBZ. On King Kai's planet, Piccolo meditated in silence as Yamcha, Tien, and Kairatsu all chased Gregory. This training is pathetic, he thought. He'd already caught the monkey in seconds without even trying, just to prove to King Kai that this was ridiculous. But the Kai refused to waver and the training method continued. You got him, Tien shouted as Kairatsu hit Gregory with the hammer. Now we've all hit him. Good, King Kai said. Now for the next phase of the training, we will start with some sparring. Now how should we pair you up? I'll take them all on, Piccolo said. Are you sure you can do that, Piccolo? King Kai said. They are weak. Hey, we'll show you, Yamcha said as he charged at the Namek, throwing a punch at his head. Piccolo sidestepped the blow and buried his elbow in the warrior's back, sending him down quickly. Tien and Kairatsu charged at the Namekian warrior, throwing punches and kicks wildly, but Piccolo managed to block or dodge them all. The Namekian retaliated with a punch of his own, knocking Kairatsu back, and then he turned to attack Tien but was interrupted when Yamcha slammed a foot into the side of his head. Piccolo went down hard and began to get to his feet. See, you're not as tough as you thought, Yamcha gloated. I'm just getting started, Piccolo said as he took off his cape and turban. He charged at the three warriors and threw a punch at Tien's head, knocking out the warrior. He then slammed a knee into Yamcha's gut, doubling him over in pain. That's enough for now, King Kai said, breaking up the fight. If it were Goku, I'd let the beating continue just to make him stronger, but there's nothing to gain from this. DBZ. Zarbon sat waiting as Vegeta healed in the tank. When he's done, I'm going to have so much fun torturing him. He turned to the attendant. How much longer? About 30 minutes, the attendant answered. I'll be in my chambers. Zarbon walked away from the medical facility. A moment later, the sound of breaking glass was heard, and the attendant was incinerated. Vegeta stepped out of the tank and looked around. He then gathered a ball of ki and blasted a hole in the side of the ship, and then ran and hid behind a corner. Sure enough, a few minutes later, both Zarbon and Frieza came running and saw the hole. Go after him, you fool, Frieza ordered. While the two were arguing, Vegeta crept quietly to Frieza's chambers and grabbed the 5 Dragon Balls. An instant later, he blasted a hole in the wall and threw all the balls out as far as he could. They shouldn't be hard to find, he said as he took off through the hole he'd created. He quickly went to ground and dove under the water to swim to where he'd thrown the balls. Zarbon won't be able to find down here, he thought. DBZ. Goku was hanging upside down from his feet, doing inverted sit-ups at 50G. 9,999, 10,000. An exhausted Goku breathed. Goku, Dr. Briefs said over the communicator. Your ship is entering a magnetic storm. You need to shut off the gravity until it's over, or it could go haywire. Right? Goku said, reaching up to unbuckle his feet. Before he could reach it, though, the gravity suddenly increased to 100G. Goku went flying back down to where he was and could barely move. Shit, Goku said. The gravity maxed out. You need to shut it off before your body can't take it anymore. Yeah, I know, Goku said, swinging the rope he was hanging by. All right, here it goes. Kamehameha. Goku shot the beam right at the ceiling where the rope was being held. Unfortunately for him, the increased gravity got a hold on the beam and brought it down right in the Scion's chest. Goku winced from the pain. All right, that didn't work very well, he said. Goku began swinging back and forth once again, this time more erratically. The bracket on the ceiling finally began to give a little. After just a few minutes of that, it finally broke, sending Goku crashing to the ground. You need to shut the machine off, Dr. Briefs reminded him. Goku slowly crawled over to the console and reached up and weakly hit the button on it. The gravity returned to normal and the exhausted Scion fell to the floor. A few minutes later, Goku managed to work his way over to his bag of senzu beans and grab one and pop it in his mouth. He jumped up and exclaimed, I feel much better now. I need to train in 100G every day now, so I'll be ready. His stomach noticeably growled. But first I need to get something to eat. DBZ. Gohan landed in the Namekian village and stared in horror. Corpses of Namekian warriors and children alike were scattered everywhere. Vegeta, how could you do something like this? Gohan said to himself. About an hour later, after giving all the Namekians a proper burial, Gohan sighed. Now where would the Dragon Ball be? He followed the radar to the lake and then dived in. A few minutes later, he surfaced again with the ball in hand. Now to get back. Gohan took to the air, heading back to where Krillin and Bulma were. DBZ. Vegeta came out of the water and quickly located the Dragon Balls that he'd found on Frieza's ship. After hiding them in a safe place, he took to the air. Now all I have to do is find the last one and I can make my wish. Just then Vegeta sensed a fairly high power level. Who could that be? Vegeta said to himself as he went to investigate. Then he saw the figure. How'd that bald midget get that powerful? He looked again. He's got the last Dragon Ball. Vegeta took off after Krillin, slowly closing the distance between him and the monk. DBZ. Zarbin laughed when he spotted Vegeta speeding toward the bald guy. Now I've got you, he said as he took off after the two. DBZ. Krillin landed and walked over to Bulma. You got the ball, the girl said happily. Yeah, it was nothing, Krillin said. Now where's Gohan? He went after another of the Dragon Balls. Is he healed? He said he was at 110%. That's a yes then. I need to take him to see Guru. Why? Well, after seeing Guru, I'm at like 700%. What? Guru can unlock hidden power, making you much stronger. That's great. Krillin's face fell as he turned his head. Shit. What's wrong? Vegeta's coming. But aren't you strong enough to beat him now? I thought I was, but he's more powerful than ever. And there's another power behind him just as strong. Before they could talk anymore, Vegeta landed in front of them. Well, I see you Earthlings were stupid enough to come to Namek after all. Now hand over the Dragon Ball and I'll let you live. Krillin, stop him, Bulma said. I don't think I can, the monk stammered. Now's where it ends, Zarbin said as he landed behind Vegeta. Give me a break, pretty boy, Vegeta replied. You're no match for me now. Please, Vegeta, Zarbin said. Don't make me laugh. Vegeta turned to Krillin. If you run, I will kill the girl before you can get anywhere, and then I'll hunt you down and finish you too. He turned back to Zarbin. Well, go ahead and transform so it'll at least be somewhat challenging. Fine then, Zarbin said. No one has had to see this twice, and I guarantee that you won't live long enough to see it a third time. Zarbin grunted as his power rose and his body once again began to expand to hold in the new power. In seconds, he was in his hideous monster form. Let's do this, Vegeta said as he charged Zarbin and kicked him right in the face. The monster stumbled back in surprise. How'd Vegeta get that fast and strong? He thought. Before he could react, Vegeta's fist was buried in his gut, and a spray of spit and green blood came from his mouth. Vegeta then backhanded him and sent him flying across the grass and into a cliff. You see the futility of trying to beat me now? Vegeta said, bragging. Science get more powerful after every fight. You now have no chance whatsoever. You fool, Zarbin said, spitting a bit of blood out of his mouth. You think you've won. You will die even if you destroy me. What do you mean? Vegeta asked, curious. The Ginyu Force is on their way here to clean up this mess. You won't stand a chance against them. I'll deal with them when they arrive then, Vegeta said as he sped at Zarbin and delivered a devastating blow to the monster's head. Zarbin went crashing down to the ground hard and didn't get back up right away. Vegeta walked over to him and picked up the alien. Well, it's been fun, but I have better things to do. Vegeta brought his hand forward, laid his palm flat on Zarbin's stomach. I'll see you in hell, the Prince of All Science said as he let loose a blast that went right through Zarbin and sent him flying back into a nearby lake. Vegeta turned to Krillin. Now hand over the Dragon Ball or you'll join Zarbin in that lake. Krillin shakily handed the Dragon Ball to Vegeta. Why'd you give it to him? Bulma said after Vegeta had left. Well, if I hadn't, he'd have killed us. I thought you said you were stronger now? Yes, so is Vegeta. And that Zarbin guy was stronger than me after he transformed, and Vegeta made short work of him. Although I'll admit his fighting style was so horrible that he didn't give Vegeta much of a fight. But what are we going to do now? Hope that Gohan has the last Dragon Ball. Chapter 16. Gohan sped back toward his friends with the 4-star ball in hand. Suddenly the Demi-Scion stopped in midair. It's Vegeta. Gohan dove to the ground and hid behind a cliff face and pressed his back to it. If I suppress my power, maybe he won't find me. Vegeta stopped just above where Gohan was. I know I sensed a power a second ago. It must be another one of those Earthlings. Alright, come on out or I'll just blast you. Gohan set the Dragon Ball down and slowly rose up into the air. There's no point in hiding, he thought. So it's Kakarot's son. I ran into your little friend earlier. What did you do to them? Nothing, Vegeta said. They just had something I needed. Vegeta held up the Dragon Ball. Let's just get this over with, Gohan said, reaching back for his sword. You have the wrong idea, kid. We Saiyans need to stick together. We are the last of our race, Vegeta said as he came closer to Gohan, almost putting an arm around him. We're practically brothers. Vegeta lunged forward with a fist at Gohan's stomach. Before the prince's hit could hit, Gohan pushed off with his feet and was in midair. A split second later, he had his sword unsheathed and was charging at Vegeta. Vegeta dodged to the left as the sword passed through where he'd been standing. Well done, the prince said. I was afraid that you might be soft, but you've shown that your instincts are always on alert. But put away that sword, you can't beat me. What makes you think that? You're not nearly strong enough or fast enough. You underestimate me, Gohan said, just like that pink alien did. Dodoria? Vegeta said, you would do well not to compare me to that weakling. He wasn't even much of a warrior. It's no wonder you were able to wound him so. How'd you know about that? I found him and finished him off for you. At first I wasn't certain that it was you, but when I saw your reflexes after that punch, that confirmed it. But be warned, boy, I was simply testing you. If I used my full strength, you'd be dead. Vegeta started to turn away. But anyway, I have a wish to make, so I'll be going. Gohan sighed in relief as he sheathed his sword. That was close. Vegeta turned back and looked at the dragon radar hanging from Gohan's belt. What's that device anyway? Gohan thought quick and then responded. It's just a watch. All the technology on your planet, and that's what you use for a watch? It's an antique watch. Well, never mind. As I said, I have a wish to make. Vegeta took off, speeding to the lake where he thought the Dragon Ball was hidden. Now I need to get back, Gohan said as he picked up the Dragon Ball and sped toward Krillin. DBZ. I sure hope Gohan's all right, Bulma said. Just then Gohan landed. Hey guys. Gohan, Krillin said. We need to go. Vegeta knows we're here. I know, I ran into him. And he just let you go? Yeah. How'd you keep the Dragon Ball? I hid it. We need to get out of here, Krillin said. Vegeta will be back looking for it. Yeah, he seems to think he has them all, so I don't think I want to see him when he finds out that this one is missing. DBZ. Vegeta dove into the lake and looked around. That Dragon Ball is bound to be here somewhere. After a few minutes, a thought struck Vegeta. That wasn't a watch. It must have been a Dragon Ball finding device. I'll kill that little brat. He has my Dragon Ball, Vegeta shouted as he flew from the lake on his way to the capsule house. DBZ. Goku just finished his 10,000th finger push-up at 100G. He jumped up and started kicking and punching the air rapidly. A minute or two later, he sent a blast around the chamber and then sent one the other way and started to dodge them as they came back around toward. Finally, it all became too much for the Saiyan and the blasts caught up with him and hit him, bringing the Saiyan down. Goku crawled over to his bag of senzu beans and pulled one out and ate it. In an instant, he was healed and back on his feet. I feel much stronger now, the Saiyan said, but I still have training to do. DBZ. Stay here, Krillin told Bulma. But what if Vegeta comes? He won't be able to find you. But... Listen, Krillin said. If I can get Gohan to Guru, I'm sure he'll be strong enough to beat Vegeta. He made me almost as strong as Vegeta, and Gohan is already several times stronger than I was when I went. With that, the two warriors took to the sky, flying slow so that the Prince of all Saiyans wouldn't find them. DBZ. Vegeta sat with his 6 Dragon Balls. I'm going to kill those Earthlings when I find them, he said to himself. But if I leave the Dragon Balls, they'll find them with that radar. I'll have to wait until they make their move. DBZ. Do you think we're far enough from Vegeta to pick up the pace? Gohan asked. Well, we've been flying for over a day and we're probably a planet away, so probably. With that, Gohan and Krillin raised their power levels and shot toward Guru's house at full speed. At this rate, we'll get there in no time, Gohan said. DBZ. Vegeta's eyes snapped open in an instant. I have you now. The Saiyan Prince pushed off in pursuit of the Earthlings at full speed. DBZ. Vegeta's coming, Krillin said. Yeah, Gohan said. Are we almost there? Yeah, Krillin replied. It's right ahead on that pillar. You go on ahead and I'll hold him off. Right? Gohan said as he sped ahead and entered the house. A moment later, Vegeta caught up to where they were and stopped next to Krillin. Where's my Dragon Ball? It's not here, Krillin said. Where's the boy? You'll have to get through me first before you get to him. You fool! Vegeta backhanded Krillin and flew past the midget and landed at the front of Guru's house. Before he could enter, the tall form of Nail blocked his path. Out of my way, Namek, Vegeta said. I have a bone to pick with the boy. Then the prince stopped suddenly as he felt a huge power in the house. In less than a second, it was lower but still high. A few seconds later, Gohan came walking out of the house. Where's my Dragon Ball boy? Vegeta said. Gohan simply laughed. That's none of your concern. You're a fool, boy. I could easily destroy you. What's he doing? Krillin thought. Doesn't he realize his power is not any higher than mine? That must be the limit of Guru's power. Try it, Gohan said. Vegeta shot forward in a flash and threw a punch right at Gohan's face. Gohan hardly flinched as he raised a hand and blocked the blow easily. Vegeta continued to throw punch after punch at the boy, but Gohan avoided or blocked them all with ease. Enough, Nail said, coming back out of the house. Guru just felt an amazing power headed this way. It's my dad, Gohan said. I bet he's even stronger than ever. No, there's 5 of them, Nail said. It's the Ginyu Force, Vegeta said. Quick, you have to let me use the Dragon Balls to wish for immortality. It's our only hope. I think Gohan would be a better choice, Krillin said. He's more powerful than you anyway. He doesn't have the experience to beat them. I'm the only one who can do it. No, Gohan said. We're going to use the Dragon Balls to wish our friends back. You fool, Vegeta said. When the Ginyu Force gets here, they'll have new scouters. It'll take them less than an hour to find us. Yeah, I guess you're right, Vegeta, Gohan said. What? Krillin stammered. We need to wish our friends back. The Namekian Dragon Balls grant 3 wishes, Nail said. See, we can use the first to wish for my immortality and you two can have the other 2, Vegeta said. Don't worry, I'm not going to let him wish for immortality. But we might need his help against the Ginyu Force. Besides, we need his Dragon Balls as much as he needs ours, Gohan said telepathically to Krillin. But we do still have the radar. We may need the Dragon Balls sooner to wish Piccolo back to help us. Piccolo? I don't think I like that idea any more than having Vegeta help us. He's changed, Krillin. Piccolo's not evil anymore. Yeah, I guess the battle against Vegeta changed him. Let's go, Gohan said to Vegeta as the 3 warriors took off. DBZ. Bulma looked up in surprise as Krillin swooped down and grabbed the Dragon Ball. Hey, where are you going? She shouted after him. What's going on? She then saw Vegeta flying along with Gohan and Krillin. What's Vegeta doing with you? But the 3 warriors were out of sight before she could even finish. DBZ. Over by Frieza's ship, 5 pods touched down and 5 warriors exited. A short green bug-eyed warrior did a stupid pose and shouted, Guldo. After him, a red-skinned warrior with long white hair did a pose of his own stupid pose and shouted, Jeez. Next, a huge blue-skinned warrior with brown patch on his head does his own stupid pose. Birder. A tall, human-looking warrior with red hair is next. Rikum. Finally, a tall purple warrior with 2 horns growing out of his head finishes the poses. Jinyu. Frisia looked on in horror as the warriors continued to do stupid poses. Finally they shouted, "The Jinyu Force! That's enough, boys. You have work to do. I want Vegeta alive." Captain Jinyu hit his scouter. "What about the other two powers that are with him?" "Those must be those other two pests. Kill them." "Yes, sire," Jinyu said as he and his teammates took to the air. Chapter 17. Beep, beep, beep. Goku reached over and turned off his alarm. "Well, it's only 20 minutes until I get to Namek," he said to himself. "I better get ready." After just a couple of minutes, Goku was clean and dressed in a new GI and ready to go. "I'm as ready as I'll ever be," he said to himself. DBZ. Gohan, Krillin, and Vegeta landed by the remaining 5 Dragon Balls. "Quick, we need to make the wish before they get here," Vegeta said nervously. "I'm not sure we want you to be immortal," Krillin said. "You fool," Vegeta retorted. "We have no time for this." "That's right," Captain Jinyu said as he and the rest of the Jinyu Force landed. "You fool," Vegeta screamed. "Now we're all going to die." "How nice," Captain Jinyu said. "You saved us the trouble of finding all the Dragon Balls." Captain raised a hand and telekinetically yanked the Dragon Ball from Vegeta and Krillin's hands. "Boys, I'm taking these to Master Frieza. Remember, he wants Vegeta alive." With that, Captain Jinyu was gone with the Dragon Balls. "Okay," Guldo said. "I'm going to kill Vegeta." "Wait," Rikum said. "I want Vegeta." After a few minutes of doing rock, paper, scissors, Rikum shouted in triumph. "Yeah, I get Vegeta." He turned to Guldo. "But there's no reason you can't deal with the other two first." "Okay, it'll be fun," Guldo said, stepping forward and turned to Gohan and Krillin. "I'll take you both on at once." Krillin simply laughed. "I can probably handle you on my own." "Yeah, no contest," Gohan said. "I'll sit this one out." Guldo was steamed by this point. "All right, Baldy, but it's your funeral." Before Guldo could even react, Krillin pushed off the ground and leapt high into the air and cupped his hands at his side and fired a blast right at Guldo. Guldo's eyes bugged out as he saw the blast coming at him fast. "Time freeze!" he screamed as he held his breath. Suddenly everything stopped and Guldo jumped out of the way of Krillin's blast. A second later he let out his breath and everything started again. "What?" Krillin stammered. "How'd he dodge that?" "So it's true," Vegeta said. "Guldo can really freeze time." "Yeah," Gohan said. "But it appears he has to hold his breath to do it. He'll wear himself out with that kind of move." Krillin charged forward at Guldo with a fist aimed right at the alien's face. "Time freeze," Guldo said, holding his breath. Guldo jumped out of the way of Krillin's attack and positioned himself behind the warrior. Letting out his breath, he swung a fist of his own right into Krillin's back. Krillin laughed as the attack appeared to have no effect. He quickly turned and backhanded the alien. Guldo went flying where he landed, making a crater. "How'd he shrug off that blow?" Guldo said. "Never mind. It's time I use my best attack." Suddenly Krillin was caught in a telekinetic hold. He found that he couldn't move no matter how hard he tried. Guldo simply laughed. "Now you see, you fool. Even stronger opponents can't beat me because I can always hold them defenseless and kill them." Guldo gathered a blast in his hand and shot it at Krillin. The blast hit full force, but when the smoke cleared, Krillin was still there but now scratched and bleeding. Krillin struggled to get out of the mental grip, but his strength was beginning to leave him. "Man, that blast hurt," he said to himself. Guldo used his telekinetic power to grab a tree and make it razor sharp. "Now you die," he said, throwing the tree at Krillin with his mind. Just before the tree got to the human, the hold was suddenly gone and Krillin dodged out of the way. The monk looked over at Guldo in surprise just in time to see the creature's head fall off. Vegeta stood there and simply shrugged. "I was getting bored." DBZ. Back at Frieza's ship, Captain Jinyu landed. "Here are your Dragon Balls, Lord Frieza." Frieza raised his hands over the balls. "I wish to be immortal." "Well, how do you feel?" Jinyu asked. "Nothing happened," Frieza screamed. "Damn, that one Namek told me I wouldn't be able to make a wish. There must be some sort of password." A few minutes later, after checking their new scouters, Frieza turned to Jinyu. There are a couple of Namex over there. I will handle this personally. Stay here and guard my Dragon Balls. With that, Frieza flew off. DBZ. Rikum stepped forward. Now you die, Vegeta. Vegeta simply laughed. You don't scare me. He charged forward and threw a flurry of kicks and punches at the warrior. Rikum stumbled back in surprise due to the sheer ferocity of the attacks. Finally, Vegeta sent the warrior flying back and rose up into the air. Now you die. Final flash, he said, gathering energy in both hands and sending it at the warrior on the ground. The blast hit Rikum dead on making a giant explosion. Man, I didn't think Vegeta was that strong, Krillin said. Yeah, no kidding, Gohan replied. Ha! Rikum said as the smoke cleared. Nice try, Vegeta. Rikum stood, his armor completely gone and only his bodysuit remained. He was slightly scratched and bruised but mainly unharmed. Now do you see the futility of your attack? Vegeta charged back at Rikum and threw another series of kicks and punches. Rikum managed to block or dodge every single one of them. Rikum retaliated with a punch of his own, doubling Vegeta over. Then the huge warrior landed blow after blow on the Saiyan Prince. Finally, Rikum tossed the worn-out warrior to the ground. Now I'm going to finish you. All right, Gohan, Krillin said. You get Vegeta out of the way and I'll attack Rikum. No, Gohan said. You stay here. I'll handle this. Rikum gathered a blast in his mouth and fired it at Vegeta. But Gohan, Krillin stammered. Before he could finish, Gohan had vanished. The Demi-Saiyan appeared between Rikum and Vegeta and raised a hand and backhanded the blast into the sky. That's enough, Gohan said. He's beaten. Your fight's with me now. Yeah, he's right, G said. Frieza said he wanted Vegeta alive. Oh yeah, Rikum said. He turned back to Gohan. I'm going to kill you though, you little brat. Wait, Berter said. Don't we get to have any fun? But he made me mad, Rikum replied. Fine, G said. But you have to buy lunch for a week. All right, Rikum said to the two others. He then turned to Gohan. I'll obliterate you. Jis hit his scouter. Only 25,000. Rikum laughed. Here's what I think of your puny power level. Rikum raised his middle finger and flipped Gohan the bird. Fools, Vegeta thought. Can't they see he's holding back? If his power was that low, he couldn't have deflected that blast. As if it was nothing. I'll give you one chance. Leave now and I won't kill you. Rikum laughed. I think you have it backwards, boy. But I'm not giving you the chance to leave. All right then, take a shot at me. Fine then. Rikum charged at Gohan and threw a punch at the warrior, but Gohan simply leaned his head to the left, letting it pass harmlessly to the side. Now it's my turn, Gohan said with a grin. The Demi-Saiyan threw a punch and landed it in Rikum's gut. The Jinyu Force member fell to the ground, unable to move. Well, I guess I don't know my own strength, Gohan said with a laugh. It was all luck, G said. You just got a lucky punch in. There's no way you could have beat Rikum in a fair fight. Fine then, Gohan said. I'll take both of you on at once. Is he nuts? Vegeta thought. Sure, he's more powerful than we thought, but he can't be that strong. Let's show him the power of the Jinyu Force, G said to Berter. Berter nodded, and in an instant the two charged at Gohan with incredible speed. Jis came at the Demi-Saiyan and threw a punch at his head. The hit passed through only after image, as Gohan wasn't there anymore. Berter stopped in the middle of his attack, confused. Where'd he go? Gohan appeared standing behind him. This is your last chance. Leave now and I'll let you live. If not, you will die today. That's funny, G said as he charged at Gohan, throwing a flurry of kicks and punches. Berter didn't waste any time attacking Gohan with several blows of his own from the other side. Unfortunately for the two Jinyu Force members, Gohan was too quick and not a single punch or kick connected. Come on, you coward, G said. Fight back. All right, you asked for it, Gohan said. Gohan phased out of sight, moving faster than either Jinyu Force member could follow, and appeared behind Berter with his sword already drawn. I don't have time to fool with you too, he said as he brought his sword down, slicing Berter cleanly in half. A split second later, he closed the distance between him and Jis and brought the sword back up and sliced the other Jinyu Force member in half as well. DBZ. Captain Jinyu was in the middle of training some new recruits in various poses when his scouter beeped. He said. Berters and Jis's power just vanished. Maybe those guys were more powerful than we thought. But they aren't any match for Captain Jinyu. With that, Captain Jinyu took to the air and sped toward the battlefield. DBZ. You must go and give the Earthlings the password, Guru told Dend. I will, Elder, Dend replied. Before you go, Guru said as he placed a hand on Dend's head. I'm giving you the power to heal. You've always had this power inside you, but I'm just unlocking it. And be careful, Nail said as the little Namekian flew out. Frisia's on his way here. Don't run into him. DBZ. Gohan and Krillin crouched by Vegeta. He looks pretty bad, Krillin said. Yeah, Gohan replied. We'll need to patch him up the best we can, I guess. My dad should be here soon and maybe he'll have some senzu beans. Are you sure that's a good idea? We may need him to help against Frisia, Gohan said. Besides, he risked himself for us. It wasn't for us, Krillin said. It was for himself. Krillin looked at the ground for a minute before continuing. By the way, Gohan, if you were so strong, why did you let that big lug beat the crap out of Vegeta before you stepped in? Well, it's a Scion thing, I guess. It would have severely wounded his pride and just made him angry if I had stepped in earlier. Besides, Vegeta needed a good beating for what he and Nappa did on Earth. Krillin laughed. Yeah, I'll agree with you there. Gohan suddenly looked to the sky and paled. What's wrong? Krillin asked. There's a high power heading this way fast. Yeah, I feel it too now. I think it's that Captain Jinyu guy, but it doesn't feel that high. You're not sensing deep enough, Gohan said quietly. He can hide his power almost as well as you or me. Well, what have we here? Captain Jinyu said as he landed. He looked over to see Rikum lying unmoving and then to the bodies of Guldo, Jis, and Berter. Which one of you did that? He asked. Stay out of this fight no matter what happens, Gohan whispered to Krillin. He then turned to Jinyu. They had a little accident. Yeah, it looks like that sword there was involved. You may have beaten my men, but the captain is far more powerful than his men. I can sense that. I'm not even showing much of my power at all. And neither are you, I see. Yeah, Gohan said. But you're not very good at concealing it. I can sense about what your power is. That's impossible. You don't even have a scouter. Sensing power levels isn't even that difficult once you learn. And once you learn that, you'll learn how to truly conceal your power. He's right, Krillin thought. I couldn't even sense Gohan's power rise when he beat those guys. He raised and lowered it so fast I couldn't even detect it. I can sense a deep power in that Captain Jinyu though. I know Gohan's stronger now, but is he strong enough to beat Captain Jinyu? Let's get this over with, boy, Jinyu said. I'm going to enjoy killing you. Chapter 18. Captain Jinyu charged at Gohan and threw a flurry of punches at the Demi-Scion faster than either Krillin or Vegeta could follow. Gohan simply blocked or dodged all of them with little trouble and then reached out and grabbed the captain by the hand and flung him over his shoulder and into the ground. Jinyu touched one hand down on the ground and rebounded without getting a scratch. Gohan charged and threw a few punches of his own, never connecting a single one as the captain dodged them with ease. Not bad, Gohan said. But I'm just getting warmed up. So am I, Captain Jinyu responded. Let's take it up a notch then, Gohan said as he began to gather energy around him. The boy screamed out as he raised his power to levels he'd never reached before. Rocks and boulders began to rise off the ground as the Demi-Scion's power continued to rise. As the boy's power began to level off, Captain Jinyu's scouter beeped. 90,000. I'm impressed. I didn't think there was anyone in the galaxy other than Lord Frisia and myself that had that kind of power. But you're still no match for me. We'll see, Gohan said as he shot at the alien and buried a fist in his stomach. Captain Jinyu doubled over in pain and spat a bit of blood as Gohan quickly brought a knee up into his face. Gohan reached back and grabbed a hold of his sword and swung at Captain Jinyu's head. I'm going to end this now. The sword only passed through empty air as Jinyu brought a fist of his own up into Gohan's stomach, doubling the Demi-Scion over and causing him to drop his sword. You're not the only one who can raise his power in an instant. I'm not even at my max yet and I'm more powerful than you. Yeah, Gohan said. You're all talk. Gohan charged at Jinyu only to have the alien dodge the attack with little trouble. The boy phased out just in time to avoid a blow from Jinyu and then appeared behind the captain and brought a fist down at the back of his head. His fist passed through thin air as the alien was no longer there. Now you see the futility of this fight. You're maxed out and you're still no match for me. That's where you're wrong, Gohan replied. I think you're pretty close to your own max and I'm not through yet. Gohan pulled his weighted wristbands off and quickly removed his undershirt. I'm still just getting warmed up. Jinyu's eyes widened slightly as he saw the heavy clothes hit the ground and make a dent. You've been wearing weighted clothes the whole time? He hit his scouter. 110,000. This might actually be close. Before Jinyu could even prepare, Gohan charged at the alien and quickly buried a fist in his stomach, doubling the alien over in pain and causing him to go flying back. Gohan quickly phased out and appeared above the alien and brought both hands down on his head, sending him down into the ground hard. Masenko Ha! Gohan shouted as he shot an enormous blast at Jinyu's crater. When the smoke cleared, Captain Jinyu walked from the crater, a little beaten and bloody but otherwise okay. Not bad, kid, but I'm tired of playing around. Jinyu let out a yell and his power began to rise as he drew closer and closer to his max. This is bad, Krillin thought as he got the full extent of Jinyu's power. Even as strong as Gohan is, that guy is still stronger. Jinyu charged Gohan and punched the Demi-Scion in the face and then brought the other fist around to hit him again before he could react. Gohan stumbled back from the blows but quickly recovered and threw a few punches and kicks of his own, but the captain blocked them easily enough. Shit, Gohan thought. How am I going to beat him? He's not only strong, but I can't see any weaknesses in his style either. Gohan was brought out of his thoughts as he saw Jinyu's fist heading right toward him. The Demi-Scion ducked under the punch just in time and brought a fist of his own at Jinyu. At the last minute, he backed off with that punch and quickly brought a foot forward, hoping the distraction was enough. Captain Jinyu barely managed to block the kick before it connected to his head. It's amazing, he thought. This boy's power and skill is amazing for his age. That much skill could make up for the slight disadvantage in power he has, but unfortunately for him, I'm just as skilled. But I need to end this before he manages to find something to exploit. Jinyu charged at Gohan and threw Anther Punch at the boy and knocked him to the ground hard. Jinyu flew into the air and fired blast after blast at the boy before he could even get up. Then the captain walked slowly over to where a beaten and bloody Gohan was just getting to his feet. Jinyu smashed a fist into Gohan's face, causing blood to spurt from the boy's nose. Then Jinyu brought his other fist into Gohan's stomach. Finally, the captain brought his knee up into the Demi-Scion's stomach hard. Gohan screamed in pain as the last blow hit. He braced himself as Captain Jinyu threw him to the side. A few seconds later, Gohan pulled his aching body to his feet and felt a few bones crunch under his weight. That last hit hurt, he thought. You're finished, Jinyu said. You're no match for me. Give up now and I'll kill you quick. I got to think of something, Gohan thought. Suddenly an idea struck him. I hope this works. Gohan's power suddenly shot up as his normally white aura suddenly began to flicker red and then turned a solid red. Kaioken, he shouted. Unfortunately for the young Scion warrior, the power was too much for his body to handle. As quickly as it had come, the power faded and Gohan clasped in agony, his body now completely trashed. Jinyu simply laughed as the boy collapsed. I'm impressed and surprised. You're either really brave or really stupid to even attempt to push your power that far past your limits. But anyhow, now you'll die. To tell the truth, though, in a way I'm disappointed that it had to end so soon. I got to do something, Krillin thought. If I jump in, I'll die. But if I don't, I'll probably die anyway. Krillin charged Jinyu as fast as he could and threw a punch at the warrior. Unfortunately for him, Jinyu simply backhanded him and left him on the ground. He can't even move. How could Gohan stand up to that kind of power that long? Jinyu towered over the unconscious Gohan and prepared to stomp the life out of the boy. Now you'll die, kid, for even thinking that you could beat the captain of the Jinyu force. Not so fast, a voice said from behind Captain Jinyu. Goku! Krillin shouted in glee. You made it. Yeah, Goku said. I'll handle it from here. Be careful, that guy wiped the floor with Gohan, and Gohan's power was enormous. Yeah, I felt the battle as I was approaching. Goku walked over to where Gohan lay unconscious and pulled a senzu bean from his pocket and placed it in his son's mouth. Here, chew this, he said. It'll make you feel better. The boy began to chew the bean and was almost immediately back to full health. I guess trying to use the Kaioken wasn't such a great idea, Gohan said as he sat up. You were really close from what I felt, Goku said. I'm amazed you did it that well for a first try with no instruction. Thanks, Gohan said, getting to his feet. Now I have some unfinished business to take care of. No, son, let me handle it. But I'm plenty strong to beat him now. Goku walked over to Krillin and gave him one of the other two senzu beans, not even hearing Gohan's plea. Thanks, Goku, Krillin said, getting to his feet. Goku turned to where a weakened Vegeta was watching the scene. Catch Vegeta! Goku shouted, throwing the last senzu bean to the Saiyan Prince. Vegeta caught the bean and looked at it puzzled. What's this? Eat it, Goku said. It'll heal you. Are you sure that's a good idea? Krillin said. It'll be okay, Goku said. You and Gohan go and get the Dragon Balls. I'll handle this. Right, Gohan said. Be careful, that guy's stronger than he looks. Yeah, I felt his power while you two were fighting. I can handle him. Besides, I have Vegeta to back me up if I need it. Vegeta grinned as he felt his health return. Sorry, Kakarot, he said, taking to the sky. I've got bigger fish to fry. Be careful, Gohan said as he picked up his sword and weighted clothing and took to the sky with Krillin. I will, don't worry, Goku said as he watched his friends fly away. Chapter 19. Let's get started, Captain Ginyu said as he stared down at the full-blooded Saiyan. I still need to track down that kid and destroy him. You'll have to get through me first. That won't be hard, Captain Ginyu said. My power is 120,000. The kid came close but couldn't handle the strain. Only Frieza and I can. Goku laughed. That's what you think. Let's see this power you think you have. All right. Goku discarded his undershirt and wristbands and began to power up. Rocks began to levitate off the ground as the Saiyan's aura expanded. As quickly as it began, it was over. Captain Ginyu was speechless for a second as he checked his scouter. 180,000, that's impossible. That's only a fraction of the power I can use. Are you referring to that technique the boy tried to use? The Kaioken technique. Yes, that's what I'm referring to. That technique is useless. It completely thrashes the user's body. I need to get him to show me that technique, Ginyu thought. It may be useful when I take his body. Gohan has never been instructed in the use of the Kaioken before and did amazingly well for a first attempt. But I, on the other hand, have been well trained and can easily use it to multiply my power up to about 10 times without any trouble. Let's see it then. All right, Goku said. Kaioken x10. Almost immediately, Goku's power shot through the roof as a small red aura surrounded the Saiyan. Amazing, 1.8 million, Captain Ginyu said. That may even rival Master Frieza's power. Now give up, Goku said, letting go of the Kaioken. You have no chance of victory. I beg to differ, Captain Ginyu said. I have an even better technique than that stupid Kaioken. Really? Goku asked. Yeah. Captain Ginyu charged some ki in his hand and drove it into his own chest. What are you doing? A confused Goku asked. Captain Ginyu simply grinned and dropped his scouter on the ground. Body change, he said as he shot a beam at Goku. In an instant, the purple alien and the Saiyan had switched bodies. Ha ha ha, Captain Ginyu said in Goku's body. Now all your power is all mine. But I've got to go and kill your friends, so I'll see you later. With that, Ginyu in Goku's body swooped down and picked up his scouter and was gone. DBZ. Frieza looked over as he passed a flying dend. Kids are learning to fly earlier and earlier nowadays, he said to himself. But he's not even worth my time. Then Tyrant looked ahead where he saw a big stone house on top of a pillar. Yes, soon I'll have my immortality. DBZ. Gohan and Krillin swooped down and grabbed the dragon radar from Bulma before she even knew what was happening. What's going on? A confused Bulma screamed. Got it, Gohan said as he and Krillin flew off. DBZ. Vegeta landed outside Frieza's ship. Now to get those Dragon Balls and make my wish. Vegeta entered the ship and began to randomly blast Frieza's underlings to oblivion. After a few minutes, he made it to Frieza's chambers only to find that the Dragon Balls weren't there. After a few questions to the remaining henchmen and a few more corpses, Vegeta was no closer finding the Dragon Balls. A few minutes later, after getting cleaned up and putting on a new set of armor, Vegeta walked outside. Where could he have hidden those balls? He said to himself. Just then Vegeta sensed a power heading that way and hid behind a pillar. Gohan and Krillin landed in front of the ship off to the side from Vegeta a bit. It says here that the balls must be buried here, Gohan said, consulting the radar. This is perfect, Vegeta thought. They can do all the work, but I'll run out there and make my wish. Arise, dragon, Krillin yelled. Nothing happened. What's the deal? Gohan said. There must be a password or something. Yeah, but what could it be? We'll just have to wait for Goku. Maybe he knows. Almost on cue, Captain Ginyu in Goku's body showed up and landed. Hey Goku, Krillin started. You made it. Something's not right, Gohan said. His power feels wrong. Do you know the password for the Dragon Balls? Krillin said. You're going to all die with the new power I have, Ginyu answered as he backhanded Krillin away with no effort. The bald man landed and slumped over. Watch out, Goku in Jinyu's body said, coming landing beside his friends. He took my body. What? Krillin stammered, still a little dazed. So that's why he feels strange, Gohan said. You're all going to die, Jinyu said again, trying to get attention. Yeah, I heard you, Gohan said. Now will you be quiet? What? You're no match for me even in Dad's body, Gohan said. After that last battle my power shot up enormously. Besides, you can't unlock my true power without combining both body and spirit, Goku bragged. You fool, Jinyu said. I've seen your technique and I'm a fast learner. Jinyu began to yell as his new body erupted in scarlet ki as he charged at Gohan. The young Demi-Scion leapt to the side and backhanded the body snatcher across the landscape. So I see you've managed to get to full power. I'm impressed. But as I said, I'm far stronger than I was before. Jinyu charged back at Gohan and began throwing kicks and punches wildly. The young Demi-Scion blocked them all with ease. After about a minute of this, Gohan threw a punch of his own, sending the body stealer across the battlefield. The captain of the Jinyu force picked himself up off the ground and hit his scouter. 950,000? His face fell. That's impossible. You don't know science very well, Vegeta said, smirking, walking out from behind his hiding spot. We become stronger after every battle. Captain Jinyu's scouter beeped again. 300,000, but how? Give up, Goku said from Jinyu's body. You can't win and you know it. That's where you're wrong. I can multiply this body's power 10 times. Then I'll beat you all easily. It's not that easy, Goku said. Don't I know it? Gohan said, remembering how his body was almost torn to shreds by the Kaioken. Yes, but the boy's body wasn't used to it. Yours is, Jinyu said as he began to power up even more. Kaioken X10, he yelled. A red aura erupted around him as the power came to his body, and he charged at Gohan, throwing a punch and connecting to the Scion's head, sending him flying back. Gohan picked himself up off the ground and dusted himself off. He grinned. That's not a X10 boost. You're not even much stronger than I am. He's letting a lot of power leak out, so he's not getting the full benefit, Goku said telepathically to Gohan. I know I did the same thing when I first used the Kaioken against Vegeta. Just keep up with him and he should wear out faster than you. Gohan leapt out of the way as Jinyu threw another punch at him. Gohan came around with a punch of his own, but the alien in Goku's body managed to block the blow without much trouble. Gohan reached forward and grabbed Jinyu's shirt and head-butted him. Jinyu stepped back in surprise as Gohan landed a knee in his stomach and then quickly brought an uppercut up into his chin. The once proud member of the Jinyu force went flying back into the ground hard. Masenko Ha! Gohan shouted, firing a blast into newly formed crater. A few minutes later, after the dust had cleared, Jinyu picked himself up off the ground and dusted himself off. "Hey," he said, "this body is tougher than I thought." The relatively unharmed warrior flew at Gohan, throwing a punch faster than the Demi-Scion could block. Gohan doubled over in pain and received another fist to the face before he could even begin to recover. Jinyu landed punch after punch on the Scion before finally sending the Scion flying back into the ground. Gohan got up and grinned. "Not bad. I might have to start taking this fight seriously," he said as he removed his undershirt and wristbands. "What?" Vegeta said, amazed. "He's been fighting with weights this whole time?" "Yeah," Krillin said. "He's developed the need for a challenge just like his father. He even used that materialization trick he learned from Piccolo to make them heavier. I think he said they weigh a total of about 100 tons. Gohan phased out of sight and appeared behind Jinyu and punched the alien in the back of the head, sending him flying. Before he could even hit the ground, Gohan was in front of him and hit him again. Jinyu finally recovered enough to block a third hit from Gohan and return with a flurry of kicks and punches of his own. Gohan blocked them all with speed never seen before. Impossible. Could he really be even stronger than Master Frieza? Jinyu said, amazed. His little thoughts were interrupted as Gohan materialized in front of him and slammed a knee up into his chin. The young Demi-Scion punched the body thief one more time, sending him flying back once again. Jinyu picked himself up, wiping blood from his mouth. He winced as he felt a few broken bones in his new body. "I know this body has more power than this. I'll just have to up the ante a bit." "Kaioken X-15. He screamed, deepening the red aura. He charged at Gohan, throwing punches faster than even the Demi-Scion could follow, beating him somewhat bloody before sending him flying back. Gohan recovered quickly enough and prepared himself for another round with the now more powerful warrior. This could be trouble, the young Demi-Scion thought. With all that power, I'm definitely outclassed. But that round never came as the captain of the Jinyu Force collapsed, his power dropping rapidly. "What's going on?" Krillin asked Goku. "He couldn't handle a 15 times Kaioken," the Scion answered. "It's a lot of strain." "But how? I know this body can handle more power than this." Jinyu looked over at Goku. "How'd you make your power so high without collapsing?" "It's simple," Goku said. "My body can handle a X10 Kaioken, but a X15 is too much unless done really carefully. I had more power at a X10 than you did at a X15 because I know how to control the power going through me and keep it all from leaking out. Even though you didn't have the full power of a X15 Kaioken, you had the full strain of it going through your body." "Now give up," Gohan said, walking toward Captain Jinyu. "I don't want to kill you and leave my dad stuck in that body, but I will if it's necessary." Captain Jinyu grinned. "I have a better idea," he said. "Body change." The brilliant beam of light shot at Gohan in an instant and would have hit him had it not been for Goku jumping in the way. In almost no time at all, Jinyu and Goku were both back in their normal bodies. "That's a nice trick," Gohan said. "And it almost worked." Jinyu got up in his old body and charged at Gohan and threw a flurry of kicks and punches at the Demi-Scion. "I'll use him to damage this body beyond use and then take his and kill the others," he thought. Unfortunately for him, Gohan wasn't stupid. In an instant, the young Demi-Scion appeared behind the Jinyu Force captain and brought his sword down through his head, ending any chance he had of switching bodies again. "Why'd you do that?" an extremely weak Goku said from the ground. "He had no chance against you. If he'd used that body change again, we have been dead," Gohan said. "It had to be done." "Yeah, you have a point," Krillin said. "Let's get you in a rejuvenation tank," Vegeta said, walking up to Goku. "We may need you against Frieza." Chapter 20. Frieza landed outside Guru's house and walked up to the door only to be met by a tall Namekian warrior. "You will not disturb Guru," Nail said in a threatening tone. "I will do as I please," Frieza replied. "I will find out the password. Either you will give it to me or I will go in there and beat it out of the elder." "That wouldn't be wise," Nail replied, visibly tensing. "If Guru dies, then the Dragon Balls will be useless." "Oh, is that so?" "Yes. Then I'll just have to beat the information out of you instead. I think you'll have a hard time with that. My powers are far beyond any other Namekian." "Let's get started then." Alright, but not here. Follow me. I don't want Guru to have to witness this. I need to buy some time for Den to get to the Earthlings. DBZ. Krillin and Gohan sat outside of Frisia's ship deep in meditation. Vegeta had said that he'd be in there taking a nap until Goku was healed. The prince had tried to give the duo a pair of Saiyan armor for the upcoming battle, but Gohan had refused, saying that he'd be fine in the GI that he had. Krillin really couldn't blame him. After using Piccolo's materialization technique, they were as good as new. We really should go and try to get the password from Guru, Krillin said, looking up from his meditation. I can sense Frisia close to there. I sense Den's power coming closer, Gohan replied, never moving from his place where he was meditating in a levitated position. I have a feeling what he's carrying with him is important. Krillin struggled to stay where he was also levitating. Oh, I see your point. But why the meditation? We need to be as strong as possible when we end up having to face Frisia, Gohan replied. But aren't you almost as strong as him anyway? I really don't know how strong he is, but I don't have a very good feeling about it. I just hope we can use the Dragon Balls to wish Piccolo back to help us. Yeah, I bet he and the others are getting really strong in other world. Yeah, they're probably training with King Kai, Gohan replied. Gohan, Krillin suddenly said. Yeah. I think I may just be in the way in the upcoming battle. I mean, you, Vegeta, and Goku are so amazingly strong now. I just don't stack up. That's where you're wrong, Gohan said. Sure, you don't get stronger after getting a beating like Saiyans do, but you've still gotten stronger from the weights and from pushing yourself to the limit. Gohan grinned. And the meditative training can be really effective too. You just have to find where all that power is hidden and let it loose. I don't think I have any. I think Guru unleashed it all. That's ridiculous, Krillin, Gohan said. If that were true, then I wouldn't have gained any strength at all from fighting Captain Jinyu. Yeah, you have a point. Den's here. I suggest you get changed into that armor Vegeta offered you. Things are going to get bad once we summon the dragon. DBZ. That's far enough, Frisia said. We can fight here. As you wish, Nail said, stopping his flight. All right, I'll beat you without using one of my hands, Frisia said. Don't toy with me, Nail replied. I'm not toying, Frisia said. I want that password. Nail charged at the tyrant and threw several punches and kicks at Frisia. His face fell when all of them connected but did no damage. Frisia brought his tail around and smacked Nail back, causing blood to trickle from the Namekian's mouth. I told you this was futile, Frisia said with a laugh. Now give me the password and I'll kill you quick. Nail charged once again, only to have an arm ripped off by Frisia. A minute later, after a painful regeneration, Nail charged once again. A few more minutes later and the fight was over with Nail on the ground, barely alive. DBZ. Gohan and Krillin had just finished putting on their Saiyan armor as Den landed. I came to give you the password to use the Dragon Balls, the young Namekian said. Great, Krillin said. Let's summon the dragon now. Wait, Gohan said. We should go a little ways away from the ship so we don't wake Vegeta. Don't worry, Gohan, Krillin countered. You can take Vegeta. Yes, but it would be much easier if we just avoid that whole issue altogether. I'm sure enough attention will be attracted when we summon the dragon anyway. You mean Frisia? Den said. Yes, Gohan replied. You can take him, can't you, Gohan? Krillin said. I don't know, Gohan said. I'm not sure how powerful Frisia really is. Either I can beat him or at least hopefully hold out long enough for my dad to be healed. A few minutes later, the trio landed a short distance from the ship and put down the 7 Dragon Balls. Arise, Purunga, Den said. Suddenly dark, booming clouds began to form overhead as lightning flashed and a great light shot from the Dragon Balls. A few seconds, a giant dragon was before them. More muscular than Shinron ever was, Purunga was an impressive sight. DBZ. Frisia looked up from the beaten Nail as he saw the sky darken. Someone must be using the Dragon Balls. The tyrant took to the sky at his full unrestrained speed, at least for that form. DBZ. He who awakens me, speak your wish. We wish for everyone Vegeta killed on Earth to be brought back to life, Gohan said. Except Nappa. Nothing happened. What's the deal? Krillin said. The wishes have to be made in Namekian, Den said. And Purunga can only revive one person per wish. But you get 3 wishes. Okay, Gohan said. Tell him to revive Piccolo. Why Piccolo? Krillin said. We could use the others just as much. They have been training under King Kai after all. Yes, but I'm guessing Piccolo is the most powerful by now. And if Piccolo comes back, so do the Earth's Dragon Balls. Yeah, Krillin said. Then we can wish the others back with them. Except Kairatsu, he said, his face falling. That's what more wishes are for, Gohan said. During this time, Den had already translated the first wish. It is done, Purunga boomed. Okay, Gohan said. Now wish Piccolo to Namek. We may need his help. DBZ. Vegeta woke up with a start. He looked outside and noticed the sky was dark. I couldn't have slept that long, he said to himself. Finally it dawned on him. Them little brat. He screamed as he flew right through the wall and charged toward where the dragon rose into the sky. DBZ. You wish is granted, Purunga boomed. DBZ. On the other side of the planet Piccolo appeared. Hopefully I'm not too late, he said as he zeroed in on Gohan's power and sped that way. DBZ. Vegeta landed across from the 2 warriors. I'm going to kill you, he said. First of all, you can't kill me, Gohan said. I'm stronger than you are. Second of all, you need to calm down. Frieza is on his way here now. I may need your help to beat him. Wish me immortal, Vegeta said. And then I'll beat Frieza. I don't think that's necessary, Gohan said. He turned to Dend. Wish Kairatsu back. Before the Namekian could make the wish, Purunga suddenly faded away and the Dragon Balls turned to stone as the sky returned to normal. Guru's gone, Den said. What have you done, you fool? Vegeta said. The only chance we had was to make me immortal. It doesn't matter now, Gohan said. We won't get that last wish after all. Do you feel that power? Krillin asked. Yeah, Gohan said. It's Frieza.